Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock. Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock.
It's almost time, kids. The clock is ticking. Be in front of your TV sets for the Horror-thon. And remember the big giveaway at 9. Don't miss it. And don't forget to wear your masks. The clock is ticking. It's almost time.
산이금매대 천피마다 들어라 혼인살대로 부르러 도친 쳤다는 매래 잼민잼민가 소사 잼민가스랑 어쩐다 당파새가 말을 사 들으면 낭말 곡든다
I had to take a shit. Yeah,
I was having a shit.
I was having a shit. Yeah,
I just was thinking about that.
And Martin Brundle says thanks for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
That's a great clip. That's so good.
Yeah.
I was just thinking of that, of course, when I was just taking a shit.
Yeah. Understood. How are you, pal?
I'm feeling pretty good. Feeling
better, a lot better now.
Yeah.
And much better in here, kid. Yeah. All right.
Running a little later.
Yeah, that's good. Silent Running. That's a movie about taking a shit. Is it Joan Baez did the songs for that? You ever see Silent Running?
No, I don't.
It's Bruce Dern. He's on a space station with some robots, and he wants to kill himself.
That sounds kind of sick.
It's directed by Douglas Trumbull. Is that right, Douglas? Yeah, Douglas.
Yes, it is.
I think the only movie he ever directed himself. The 2001 effects guy, of course, people know. Yeah, he made a space movie about a guy who's suicidal in space.
I could watch Bruce Dern be suicidal in space.
It's good. It's good. Original songs by Joan Baez. It's great. Excuse me. All right, you good?
Yeah, I'm feeling good.
You ready to rock and roll?
I think I'm ready to rock and roll.
All right, fuck it. Welcome to Wrestling is Gross. My name is Bucky.
My name is Siobhan.
Yeah, we're doing it late tonight. And these shows have recently we do it in the day, and I would be like, I'm gonna just be clean the whole time, and then I get a drink halfway through or whatever. I'm fully in now, so forgive me if I act a fool, but tacos and drinks, and I'm fucking celebrating Halloween. Do you like? Well, I don't know. You like the fall?
I like the fall. I don't like September, but I like October.
October's the shit. I was thinking like the 2 weeks leading up to daylight savings time beginning is the best part of the year. Like just the leaves and the weather and just, I really dig it. And this year I'm not watching a lot of horror movies. I get my horror on the feed. I watch people getting blown to bits in Gaza, so I haven't had much taste for the gore. So I haven't really. We did watch Misery the other night, which I had never seen, so that was good. It's good stuff. That's gonna happen to us one day. They'll put us in a bed and they'll make us podcast for them. My dream, if only. Speaking of dreams, I did have a horror-themed dream last week, where my skin started bubbling up and falling off, very like The Fly-esque, like big.
That's interesting.
What does it mean?
I don't know.
Well, you know what? I did burn myself really bad. I've got a horrible burn on my belly right now.
Ooh.
It was 9 days ago. I got boiling water. I was just making fucking macaroni and cheese for the kid, and I filled the pot too high, and I pulled it off the burner, and I was going to drain it, and it sloshed, and it is crazy. And it's been
I got a burn on my right thumb that blistered up, but I'm living with it. It just like
thumb's not great.
Yeah, it sucked at the time. and like it was that kind of pain where you get like the shock in your arm.
Oh
That
yeah,
fucking sucked.
you
I
see
wasn't a fan
stars.
of that. Yeah,
No,
but
this is just nasty. It's just
yeah.
it's like the shirt rubs against it, and my belly's getting bigger all the time, so it's really rubbing against the shirt these days. So I've gained some weight. I got to be honest. Big boy season, So we love Halloween. I mean, we think it's fine.
yeah.
I do love Halloween. We're doing all the Halloween stuff. The kids are dressing up. I'm wearing my Evil Dead shirt with the sleeves cut off because the fucking armpits blew out a few years ago, so I cut the sleeves off of it. But then, ironically, it's too cold to wear it out, so you wear a hoodie over it. People don't know. They have no idea. There's no sleeves under here. You have no idea. They don't want to know. They don't want to see what's under there.
Who's to say?
We're doing the Halloween show. We've done Halloween shows in the past. We did Lucha Underground. And last year we did Vampiro.
We did like a Freaks and Ghouls episode before.
Okay, so we did one of these. I thought so. I couldn't remember.
Because that's the one that has IWA Japan and the Tokyo Dome.
Right,
and,
okay.
Black Rain's there. So we've talked Abyss on Halloween before. Abyss is one of the most Halloween wrestlers just because, kind of... I like Abyss more than some people do, I guess. But
sure.
It's like you mostly want to see him, having matches where he's, bleeding and getting thrown through shit.
I mean,
that's the Halloween kind of thing.
Allegedly, he was the agent... for the Punk Drew McIntyre match. Did you watch? You haven't watched that,
I haven't seen it yet, no.
I didn't like it when I watched it, and then I rewatched it because I saw the staples in Drew's head.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I'll give it a rewatch. And it's solid. It'll be an HM. It'll be an honorable mention, just because I like to see Punk wrestle. He's so old and stupid. He's like a creep. He's like a predator. You know his gimmick now, where him and Shawn Michaels are preying on young fitness models in Florida. That's the gimmick now.
It's just I can't figure out exactly what is ever happening in TNA, and the fact of the matter is, nothing good. I mean TNA, fucking NXT. They're
they're the same thing now. Joe Hendry, we believe.
Evil Wendy Chu,
Yeah, she's sleepy and scary. And Shawn Michaels, he loves those Asian girls. Can't help it. So yeah, we're doing another Halloween grab bag. The order that I sent you the order, right?
Yes.
We're going. Here's what I wrote. I wrote Freddy, Jason, Lucha Ricky, and the Flash, Monsters Ball. So there you go, folks. There's a preview. And we'll move right along and jump right on in. And thank you, folks, for listening. And we will try to maintain a better schedule. It's been hard, but this is an important one for me. We had a plan for Indigenous Peoples Day. Heard of it?
Yeah.
It's it's Italian American erasure, of course. We didn't do our FBI episode because they said we couldn't. But unfortunately, we also couldn't do the Indigenous Peoples Day episode, so we're going to try to do that for Thanksgiving, which is also it's the sequel to Indigenous Peoples Day, right?
Yeah.
I don't really understand Thanksgiving. I don't really know what the deal is with it, but I know it's like the precursor to the original American genocide. Is that right?
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, I'm speaking in broad strokes here. So we've got a vampire, we've got Freddy Krueger, we got Jason, we've got just a couple of goth guys, we've got some mustachioed Mexicans in knockoff costumes, and Abyss and Jeff Hardy. That's our lineup for tonight.
Yeah,
for Halloween.
There's a lot of color.
Yeah, there's a lot of color, a lot of costumes. Guys being dudes and just dressing up, what do you mean you're gay Thanos or whatever, You know these tweets?
Yeah, I hate gay Halloween because blah blah blah, some obscure costume.
It was Thicc Thanos is what it was.
Okay.
And she had a big fat ass and Josh Brolin's makeup from those movies. But more often than not, I see those posts and I'm like, I hear you, but that's a good costume. I respect it, you know?
Yeah.
I don't really, I mean, I will say, not to be judgmental, but grown-ass people dressing up in elaborate costumes without having children, kind of, I don't know, a little sus.
You kind of need, like, it to be a public event at that point, because then it's like, well, I'm supposed to, you know, I'm showing, but then it's like, if you're an adult, your Halloween ends up being like the Met Gala, but none of us can afford to go to the Met Gala because we're all
are there still
pieces of
parties?
shit.
Are people still doing like costume parties? Like, I guess, I mean, you're now in your 30s.
Yeah,
we're in our 30s. It's over. It's over for us. You can't dress
I know
up.
enough goths, obviously, that you know
that's a lifestyle.
That's true.
That's different.
Did you see? Okay, so what do you think about the goth MAGA hat? Real quick.
Oh, the dark MAGA.
Yeah,
I think it's great. I got one it's on the way. It's been held up though because
it is cum font though.
Ironically, the Republicans destroyed the postal system, so it's still held up in the mail, or else I would already have it by now. No, I think it's great. And, let's talk. Well, this is our last chance to do this. You're voting for Kamala Harris, of course. You're in a swing state.
Yeah, I love being in a swing state.
I know it doesn't weigh on your conscience, but it could.
No, it sucks. I had a friend who voted for Bernie in 2016 as a write-in. And
you had to do it as a write-in. Yeah, that's funny.
And they were right to do it. But at the same time, I don't know. I was just sick that day because I wasn't on my meds. So,
in 2020, oh goddamn, what was her fucking name? The PSL candidate, Claudia De La something, whatever. Yeah. I've forgotten now, but I voted for her. She was on the ballot. I feel bad that I can't. I mean, she hasn't done shit since then. Obviously, you can't do anything at that level of political canvassing, and just there's nothing to do.
Yeah.
What can you do except for post? This year, there is no third party on the ballot in Illinois, but there are eligible write-ins. So I think I'm just going to leave it blank or write in Harambe, of course.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it doesn't matter because I live in Illinois where it doesn't matter. So go out there and vote, people, if you feel so inclined. Yeah,
you're going to write in Drake Younger, who is now officially the Philadelphia Street Fight Championship.
Yeah?
And championship holder. He won it from Schlack in a dog collar match that Battleground Championship Wrestling, longer owned by Rob Feinstein, uploaded to their Patreon.
Okay. No longer owned by Rob Feinstein?
Yeah, they were.
And of course.
Then he sold it to the guy he co-founded it with, Timothy Embler.
So do you think he made a lot of money off of that deal?
I mean, I hope not.
Well, God bless him. And they ran head-to-head with Dean, which is very funny. And you chose to go to that show. You went to Battleground at the 2300 Arena instead of going to Dean. I'm pretty sure that's what happened, right?
Well, I just needed to meet Rob so bad, but he'd already sold the promotion.
Yeah, you got to get the picture. Got to take the mark.
Oh, apparently they've already announced Gage versus Drake for December. I'm not going to go see that, but that's cool.
Yeah, that's weird.
Also, again, straight to their Patreon. So
I hope
don't
Nick Gage is doing well.
Yeah, it's been weird.
It seems like he's probably not. So we're doing it, folks. We're doing some ghouls and some goblins. We're listening to the band Goblin. You like Goblin?
Suspiria soundtrack.
Like Dawn of the Dead theme. Yeah. Good shit. We're listening to that classical song from the end of The Shining on repeat.
I watched fucking Motorcycle Diaries today. That's just a regular good score.
Gustavo Santaolalla.
Yes, that we've referenced on the show.
We've used it on the show, in fact.
I'm like, man,
Yes.
that's a good score.
Yeah, that's
I also
ridiculous.
watched fucking Born on the 4th of July, and I don't think John Williams is that good of a composer, but it's okay.
I don't remember the Born on the 4th of July. I've only seen that movie once, but
It's not that good. Cruise is
Yeah.
good in it, though.
John Williams is not. Come on. You ever see Raiders of the Lost Damn Ark, man? Come on. Dun, 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 dun. No, you fuck off with that. John Williams rules.
He's just kind of doing the Star Wars theme at the beginning of it, and then he, like, transitions into, like, this sort of like trumpet part. The trumpet part is nice, but I'm like, wait, is he trying to do a thing, or can I just not hear? Because if he's doing a thing, then it's like, this is kind of corny.
Maybe one of the channels of your headphones was glitching out. You know, it's a good score John Williams did just recently. The Fabelmans score is really nice.
I should see the Fabelmans, I guess.
Oh, it's really nice. I mean, it's, you know exactly what it is.
Yeah.
But it's all right, and the music's really solid. So we're going to the 60s first, right?
Yeah.
I think the Fabelmans largely takes place in the 60s, doesn't it?
I think it does, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's when he was like a boy. Old Stevie Spiels.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's weird that the kid
Freddie
from the
Fabelman.
It's weird that the kid from the Fabelmans is playing Lorne Michaels in the stupid Jason Reitman Saturday Night Live.
Why is that
Because he's like
weird?
24 years old. Like, that's like way too young.
That
Lorne
mo-
Michaels wasn't that young.
Yeah.
But like Cooper Hoffman's here. It's like, was
Nobody's-
Dick Ebersol
that
that young? Who gives a shit
nobody
about
wants
this
to watch that
fucking
movie.
I don't want to fucking watch this movie.
I don't think
talk about
anybody's
it.
into that movie. I do hear that, what's his name? What's the guy with the big dick? He shows it in the movie. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of guys with big dicks, it's Freddie Blassie versus Rikidozan from March 28th, 1962. From the WWA. Now, I'm not sure what that stands for. World Wrestling, whatever.
Yeah. This was the promotion. This was promoted by Gene LaBelle's mom and stepdad.
Okay.
In LA, running it out of LA. So.
Naturally.
Yeah. Worldwide Wrestling Associates.
Okay.
Which is kind of a cool name.
Well, there's only two W's in the thing that I saw, so that's three.
That's free.
Yeah,
W's.
I mean, worldwide is one word, I guess.
Yeah, they can do what they want with that second W, that middle W, and then,
Shouts out to Worldwide, by the way. Worldwide Wrestling Association. That's his fed. His mom and stepdad ran that. This is from the LA Olympic Auditorium. Was that right?
Yes.
Okay. So we got Rikidozan here. Rikidozan, we've covered him on the Destroyer show.
Yeah.
And this is the second oldest match, or third oldest. I guess there's two 55ers on the old fucking French cat show that we did.
When is the giant, the not a giant, Haystacks Calhoun
Haystacks
match
Calhoun.
from?
Yeah, that's from like 61 actually.
Okay.
Too. We looked this up. So this is the fourth oldest match we've covered on the show. Classy Freddie Blassie, a guy that I know mainly from being in the, that video that would play at the beginning of WrestleMania, where he's like watching it in a barn or whatever.
Yeah.
People know this fucking thing. And he narrates it.
He gives the speech at Invasion 2001. He called
that's
people
right.
pencil neck geeks. But this guy was one of the biggest stars in fucking wrestling at one point in time.
And
he was the vampire.
He's a nasty fucker. Yeah, he's a vampire.
He fucking filed his teeth so he could make them extra sharp and shit.
Now, you can't tell from the footage if he's filed his teeth, but he certainly does the thing where he puts up his hands and bares his fangs, as it were, quite a bit in this match. First of all, I loved this. I think this is one of the best matches we've ever covered on the show.
This is a great match, I think, yeah.
This is the fucking best. Rikidozan, I don't know how to say his name.
Rikidozan. You
Mr.
just say it how you want. Yeah.
Mr. Dozan, they call him multiple times. Now, I want to ask you, first of all, is his first name Ricky and his last name is Dozan?
It's all one name.
That's what I thought. I thought it was one name, but they keep calling him Mr. Dozan. And his manager Togo, which is a guy, right? Is that a guy that's...
Yeah, it's Tosh Togo.
Right.
Fucking, was that Harold? Yeah, it's Harold Cicada. Odd Job from Goldfinger.
Fucking, that's what I know. Okay. I knew he was famous for something. So he's accompanied by Odd Job. Goldfinger, great song. Is that a Shirley Bassey? Yeah, that's Shirley Bassey.
Yeah.
Great song. Good movie, great song. Not as good as Thunderball. The movie's better than Thunderball. The song is not as good. Is that fair?
That's fair.
Yeah. What's your favorite Bond theme?
I mean, it's probably The World Is Not Enough because I just love Garbage as a band. But
that's a good
also,
one.
It is a great theme, but I'm like, I don't know if it's a great answer.
Nobody does it better. I think that's always gonna be mine. The Spy Who Loved Me.
I want like a classier answer than that. I mean, I think like I like I actually like the first two themes for the Craig era. I think those are actually good songs. I remember people not.
Oh, Cornell, hell yeah!
I don't think people like Another Time to Die. I think
what's
that's
the second one?
That's the one with Jack White and Alicia Keys.
Oh,
I think that song's
Quantum
good.
of Solace.
It's silly.
I like all those. You know what? People were so mad about that Sam Smith one. Is Sam Smith? Is that his name?
I believe so.
It was going to be Radiohead, and they ditched the Radiohead version for Spectre. Skyfall. No, Skyfall? Spectre. One of those. Whatever it was.
One of the Sam Mendes ones.
Yeah. And I thought that was a cool song. I'm the only person who thinks that that's a good Bond song, the Sam Smith song. Anyways, Odd Job. Odd Job's here with Rikidozan, Mr. Dozan. First of all, the commentator tells us that Freddie Blassie is wearing green trunks and green boots, but this footage is in black and white, so that doesn't really do much for me.
Yeah.
Could not tell. They say Blassie is accompanied by Teddy Nelson. I don't know if you caught that. I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
The announcer gets on the hanging microphone. The microphone hanging from the ceiling tells us that Edouard Carpentier is coming back to town next week. And then he announces some upcoming boxing fight as well. Which I thought was very funny that like the in-ring announcer was promoting other sporting events. Like if
but that's cool. It's like, they just, come down to the venue, come down to the auditorium, see a show.
Yeah, what if
the
Thicc was like, the circus is in town next week, or like advertising a Knicks game.
And on April 29th, it will be Billy Joel.
Yeah, stop lighting the audience. Goes nuts. Whoa. He also welcomes the Boys Club of Bell Garden. So, shouts out to them. Hopefully they were treated right. We know what that's like in pro wrestling. Yeah. Now, they tell us... the announcer also says Rikidozan is in the role of the challenger. Mm-hmm. Which I thought was interesting. They're telling us right there that it's fake and it's all an act. In the role of... and supporting character and who gets the and credit. Blassie's booed heavily. They announced the referee as Johnny Red Shoes Lennon.
I thought it was Dugan.
Okay, I wrote down Dugan once, but then all right, okay, maybe it was Dugan because I heard Lennon, I heard Dugan. Lennon and Dugan were the guys who wrote all the Beatles songs. They got the credit, all those. Commentator says that the money that goes with the championship is just as important as the title itself. And that Blassie has become quite wealthy defending this title.
Yeah.
And now this is the...
Always a nice touch.
Yeah, oh yeah, I love it. I love that. This is it's the World Heavyweight Championship, right? But
yes.
In this period, obviously, they've got, we're like a month or two away from Luthez, Buddy Rogers.
Yeah.
Right? Like the splitting off from the WWF from the NWA. Like we're in the throes of multiple people claiming to be the world champion. Like, is Vern?
Vern's definitely claiming the world championship at this point.
Right. So it's and it looks like this title. No, this is a different title. I looked up WWA World Heavyweight Championship, and it brought me that Australian promotion, and I was like, oh, it looks like Road Dogg was the champion. But no, that was a different WWA championship. I was trying to find. There's Indianapolis. What is the? Okay, here we go. 64. Dick the Bruiser. No, this is still another title. It's crazy how hard it is to find this stuff. All right, Edouard Carpentier was the initial champion, then Freddy, then Rikidozan, Freddy the Destroyer, Bearcat Wright, Bob Ellis, Pedro, Bobo, Mark Lewin held the belt for almost a year, Mike DiBiase. So it's the LA world title, basically.
Yeah.
For what that's worth. But it's a weird time, the early 60s. The NWA title still carries a lot of weight, but obviously all these other promotions are splitting off and doing their own shit. Not the least of all, fucking the WWF, which, would pick Bruno as their guy, and he would hold the belt for the entirety of the 60s, basically, right?
Yeah.
And then, I don't know a lot about Freddie Blassie, and obviously he is there at some pivotal moments in the WWF history. He manages the Sheik when the Sheik wins the belt from fucking Backlund, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. When he wrestled probably up until the late 70s, Blassie?
Mid-70s.
Have you seen a lot of his work? Because I certainly
not
have
really.
not. I mean, I guess there's not a lot on tape. This is a very special thing for us to have, and such
absolutely.
full. And it's really, really exciting. And you can see what a worker he was. Like, this match is largely punching and chopping and biting.
Yeah.
Right? But it is absolutely visceral.
It's just so many fucking knock your block off chops, so many punches to the neck or the head, the side of the fucking head.
He does
There's
these
good
punches.
bumping. There's the bump to close the first fall is fucking great. It's very weird because of it's the frame rate on this film reel from 62 years ago. It's I don't exactly know what it would be, but it also has a weird camera angle. But it's 62 years old. You can tell that the bump itself is crazy.
It is 62 years old, isn't it? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is going to be a weird one to talk through because it is largely punching and chopping, but we will do our best.
Well, we fucking love punching and chopping.
Yeah.
Shit. So that's it's not that big. It's what we have to say about this match, on a play-by-play basis, is that's difficult for sure, but the vibe of it is essential.
Yeah, most importantly,
Feeling.
go watch it because it's fucking awesome.
Drink it in.
The file is 39 minutes long, but the match itself is 22, something like that.
Yeah.
It's very watchable, and they cut quite a pace. Honestly, there's near falls. They're going for it. It doesn't feel modern, but it doesn't feel that old either.
No.
So Blassie refuses the handshake. Rikidozan, the ultimate sportsman, right?
Yeah.
They lock up immediately. Blassie grabs a headlock and punches Rikidozan under the chin. And he does this over and over. The punch under the chin, in the throat, basically. He is just a menace. He grabs him by the hair, punches him in the cheek, and clawing, a lot of fingernails.
Yeah.
He early on, he works Rikidozan into the corner, and Rikidozan holds up his hand like he's going to punch back at Blassie, but Blassie backs off. And Rikidozan, the whole thing, this entire match, he's just an honorable wrestler, and they keep telling you.
Yeah, he's he's working this as that's the Japanese way. You don't attack a man when he's down, which is fascinating. Honestly, it's very it goes to the idea of Blassie being such a fucking loathed heel that this extremely positive depiction of a Japanese man
Right.
in the early 60s.
17 years after the end of the fucking Second World War, where
yeah, it's not exactly like the days of Bugs Bunny doing buck like with his buck teeth to mock the Tojos or whatever, but it's like
it's only a couple years. I think those cartoons are like not far. Like it's like mid 50s. Some of those cartoons. Yeah, I mean the entire portrayal of the Japanese. I mean, especially in war propaganda, was that they were savages who would they were suicide bombers. Like that was the whole deal. And whether that's true or not, yeah. Like, I mean, I watched The Pacific. That movie, that series was only made 15 years ago, and that whatever real life accounts of what people saw in the war, but that is that. I mean, that we're not far off from that at this point. So yeah, Rikidozan being just a total babyface and being an honorable babyface. Every time Blassie's down on his knees, Rikidozan comes up to him but refuses to hit him when he's down.
Yeah.
So Rikidozan, he's got some moves. He does he does hip throw, front chancery, rolls Blassie overhead, and Blassie begs off. Blassie will grab like a quarter Nelson and dig his knuckles into the ribs of Rikidozan. He pulls the hair to bring him down, gets him in the ropes. Should be a clean break, but fucking Blassie just punches him in the cheek. And then Rikidozan starts coming back with these chops, which the announcers or the commentator continuously calls judo chops, which I always think is hilarious because I'm not an expert, but I'm pretty sure there's no striking in judo, right?
Yeah.
Right. That's like sort of the whole deal. He gets him.
You can. Judo is a competitive thing. You don't have like strikes, but like ostensibly within like there are, because there's more like competitive judo. We just pick up the throws, and then like jujitsu is like the fucking like the holds and shit. But you'd never fucking see them, and it's like calling something a judo chop is just like silly. Like but it's like I guess like they hadn't really conceptualized what a karate chop was at that point.
Yeah, is karate not a word yet? Like,
like I don't know when karate becomes widespread in the United States.
I mean, Kung Fu in the 70s and Bruce Lee and all of that is like a huge moment for that. Yeah. In the trend of people like learning martial arts as a hobby. That happens in the 70s for sure.
Yeah.
And this predates that by at least a decade. Although Bruce Lee was on, I don't know, if you've seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, then you know Bruce Lee was a major star in the late 60s in America as well for being on the show. What the fuck is that?
Green Hornet.
Green Hornet, right, okay. Sorry. I've never seen it. I've only seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And so Rikidozan throws these sort of overhand chops, but with the knife edge. They're not like overhand lucha chops. He does throw some of those in this match. Yeah. But he's sort of this like downward, sort of at a 45-degree angle, downward chops that he'll get him like right in the side of the head and follow through to the chest and like over the shoulder. And at one point, the commentator early on says that it's like getting hit with a piece of pipe. And Rikidozan is laying the pipe in the LA Olympic Auditorium here. But he also has some knife edge chops and those lucha overhand flat chops with the palm of the hand. And then Blassie is just so expressive. Just the big faces. Even in this footage that is, I mean, pretty clean for as old as it is. I have no idea, like, what the source of this is. Like, did this air on television? I would assume maybe. I mean, I guess it did.
No. I mean, that's why we have the. I don't know, like, if this is a nationally televised thing, though. But
right.
because we have like the promos in the back and stuff. Yeah.
Right. But who preserved it? Like, there's no tape. Like, obviously, videotape doesn't exist for another 15 or more years.
Yeah, or was this like on the Dumont network or some shit like that? I don't know.
Like, how was this preserved? It's really exciting to think about, because, you know, a lot of the Japanese footage from the 60s and 70s that we have in, like, such clean format, we only have because film reels were kept and then rebroadcast on Japanese TV, like in the 90s and 2000s.
Yeah.
Like, that's why we have, you know, the Carl Gotch footage that we have, the limited fucking Billy Robinson shit that we have, is because of rebroadcasting of old footage that they kept. And presumably, you know, the WWE has fucking the vault or whatever and could show us things, and they choose not to, right?
Yeah, God knows what they have, of course.
Yeah. Although I can't imagine this is not in their library. You know, they don't own this. Who owns this? Nobody owns this.
Nobody knows they own it, I don't think.
Yeah,
if someone owns it, they have no concept of how they would make money off of it.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Blassie he's got big faces, and Rikidozan is very sportsmanlike, but he's very imposing. He towers over Blassie, but Blassie keeps coming back. He gives him these kicks. The commentator says that they're low or to the groin, but they're above.
Yeah.
They're just, you know, kicking him. I mean, they're dirty shots that he gives him. Blassie definitely, like, continues to, like, goozle and, like, throttle Rikidozan with both hands. At one point, he gets him down to the mat, grinds his palm into the bridge of his nose, and then Rikidozan, like, fights his way up, slaps him right in the face. At one point, he's whipping Blassie into the buckle, like, corner to corner, and Blassie hits the buckle, falls on his face. Like, not unlike Ric Flair. I mean, not as animated, obviously, but those are treated as big offensive moves from Rikidozan. And then they keep doing this thing where Rikidozan will get, like, in front, like, Blassie will be on his knees with his hands up. Rikidozan will get right in front of him and, you know, clench his fists, but won't attack him. And the crowd is, like, going nuts. Like, telling him, hit him.
Yeah, they want him to fuck this dude up.
Yeah.
Because he's a bastard.
He's a piece of shit, and they love the Japanese guy. It's really crazy.
They hate this blonde fuck from fucking St. Louis.
Is he from St. Louis? Okay.
Well, he's original. Yeah, I don't know what his build was from. I always think of him being billed as like a California type, but I don't remember if they do that here.
Well, he's like a bleach blonde guy, right? Like, is he the original bleach blonde piece of shit? Does it all start here? Like, I mean, I know you probably don't know, right? Nobody knows.
I'm not sure off the top of my head.
But he's like the archetypal, like, you know, Flair, or, like, you know.
I mean, Gorgeous George was already was a star of the 50s, of course. So I would say it was almost certainly George.
Sure. And I mean, footage of him, we don't have Gorgeous George.
We don't have Dick.
Yeah, full matches, him doing his shit, right?
Yeah.
Who even knows, like, what his stuff even looked like. So Rikidozan is the sportsmanlike, you know, the honorable guy, the professional, the just as decent, you know. He's a superstar. He's this physically imposing figure, and yet he refuses to sink to the level over and over again. And Blassie actually, he punches him, like, right above the dick at one point, and then again under the chin, like in the throat. Throttles. He's leaning him back. At one point he leans him backwards against the top rope, and he throws this lifting knee to the kidney, which looked fucking harsh as hell. And then Ricky comes back with these two hard shoulder blocks. One of them, he runs off the ropes, hits him at a really high speed, and chopping, and he chops Blassie through the ropes. Blassie gets back in, and he's again chopped out to the apron, and then Rikidozan fires a chop to Freddy while he's on the apron. And this is where he sort of flies off the apron. I couldn't tell if he hit the ring post on his way down, or if he just bumped all the way to the floor.
It looked like, I think he hit the ring post. I think he did.
Right. Right. I thought so too. It's I watched the clip a few times, but again, like you said, with the frame rate, it is impossible to tell, and the lighting and the lack of color. And then Blassie. So this is the first fall. This is a 2 out of 3 falls match, ostensibly. But this is the end of the first fall, quote unquote. Blassie loses it by, I thought, count out, but then the announcer says that Blassie running out of the ring resulted in an automatic fall by referee's decision.
It's very weird. This is like a very alien set of rules.
Well, I mean, the referee... So, all right, referee's decision gives that fall to Rikidozan. Where's the referee deciding shit while the motherfucker's biting him for the rest of the match?
Yeah.
Fucking... Johnny Red Shoes Dugan.
Johnny Red Shoes Dugan, he's on the fucking take.
He's a bastard, Johnny Red Shoes Dugan. If you're out there listening, Johnny Red Shoes Dugan...
Or any of your fucking, relatives.
Your nephews and nieces. Folks.
They're pieces of shit, too.
Yeah, oh yeah. I bet they turn a blind eye to a lot of fucking nefarious behavior. I know the type. These California types. So that's the first fall. Blassie gets up, and according to the commentator, he has an abrasion on his forehead. Appears to be checking himself for blood. I don't, it's hard, obviously it's hard to see any blood, although you can see it pretty well coming up here on Rikidozan. And then Segunda Caída begins with Rikidozan chopping again, Blassie running to the apron for cover, and then Blassie grabs a headlock. When Rikidozan tries to whip him off from the headlock, Blassie grabs that fucking thick head of hair and hangs on. One of my favorite moves in all of wrestling is got the guy in a headlock, they try to whip you in, and you hang on by the hair. It's the best. And then he gets him twice, 2 punches. 2 punches right in the hairline, the commentator says, and then begins the biting.
Oh, yeah.
And the crowd is, screaming. And the commentator is appalled. He's he can't believe what he's saying. He's disgusted. And Rikidozan bleeds, immediately. I have to assume blading.
Yeah.
Although it's so weird to think about, I mean, obviously, blading. How long has it been around? Who was the first one to fucking run the razor? There's no way to know.
No, it's it's very easy that to think that they've been doing it for 100 years at this point.
I'm pretty sure there's some pretty blatant blade jobs in in some of that Chicago footage from the 50s that came out.
Yeah,
I feel like I've seen it. I feel like I've seen it in a Thez or a Gagne match.
Yeah.
But again, I wish I knew. I wish I kept a record of this. I mean, we are keeping a record of it now. This is the record.
We'll fucking figure it out.
Yeah, yeah.
We're tapped into the history of these things at this point.
Yeah, and I want to do more matches from this era because I just love it. But this is on another level. I just think this is one of the coolest matches ever because he's bleeding over the left eye, Terry Funk style.
Yeah,
and Rikidozan gets up, wipes the blood off of his head, and he flicks it at Blassie, and it just starts chopping the shit out of him.
Oh, yeah.
And Blassie does look like an actual vampire, like a Bela Lugosi or Christopher Lee,
Yeah.
The hands, the arms wide, the hands spread out, and just, mouth wide open.
He's a traditionally gothic figure in a lot of ways.
It's like a promo photo from a fucking Universal horror picture. He's fully doing a cinematic horror guy,
Yeah.
This is the kind of shit people try to do now and fail constantly,
Yeah.
And he just bites him over and over. This is the rest of the match is he corners Rikidozan and he bites him. And Rikidozan, looks, defenseless at times. There's a part where Blassie has him on the ground and he's biting him. And Rikidozan just palm strikes him in the fucking face. And that's how he breaks out of it, right?
Yeah.
There's this awesome series of chops and gets a couple of near falls on Blassie. And then on the second near fall, Blassie kicks out, clutches the head, rolls him over, and starts biting him again on the ground. Like, they transition directly from him kicking out of the pin to rolling him over and biting him.
Yeah.
And then the referee, like, keeps, like, kind of getting in there and breaking it up occasionally. But it's just crazy how much leeway that Blassie's given from Johnny Dugan. I forgot his name. Johnny Red Shoes Dugan.
Piece of shit.
A villain of the podcast at this point. And Ricky makes another comeback with the blood just covering the left side of his face. He does look like Terry Funk, you know. He does have that specific, and you can see it on the black and white footage.
Yeah.
You can tell, like, it's streaming down his face and covering half of his face. And at one point, he does sort of keep chopping him as he goes down. As Blassie goes down in the corner specifically, it's like against the buckles, and he's chopping him down, and Blassie is getting lower and lower, almost down, like, seated, and Rikidozan is still chopping him. And this is where, like, the referee is like almost cheering him on. And the crowd's nuts.
Yeah.
And then the screams.
The satanic bastard.
Yeah.
Hungarian motherfucker.
And then the screams when he bites him. When he comes back and Blassie bites him, you can see, like, the faces of the people in the crowd. Like, the footage is sharp enough, and, like, jumping up and down, and, like, some of them standing, like, against the ring, and, like, reaching in and pointing to the ref, being like, "What the fuck, ref?" It's magical. There's really nothing like this.
Yeah.
And then Ricky gets another near fall after another chop. And again, Blassie just escapes the pin. He grabs both hands in his hair, rolls him over, and bites him again. And then he's got these downward punches that are, like, right in the cut, right on the hairline. And eventually Rikidozan does throw a few punches. Not a lot. But there's one point where Rikidozan throws a solid closed fist punch, and the commentator says, "That's no judo chop."
Yeah.
Which, again, I don't think there is such a thing as a judo chop. But then we do end up with this awesome segment, and this is like a very modern fight happening here, where they end up on their knees across from each other, and they trade punches and chops. And then Rikidozan hits this incredible headbutt. And they just beat the shit out of each other. They really do.
It's such a nasty fight. It's great. But it's classic pro wrestling. It's like, you know, it's terrific.
It's as primal as it gets. What's the Bill Curry versus Johnny Valentine? Bull Curry? Is it Bull Curry?
Bull Curry.
Bull Curry. Versus Johnny Valentine. That's what this reminded me of. And that's 69, is that right?
Yeah.
I think that match actually is a little more technical than this is, though, honestly. This is more just 4 or 5 moves the whole match. And the crowd wants Rikidozan to hit Blassie so bad. He just won't do it. And every time Blassie just kicks him in the fucking nuts or near the nuts, and then more biting, more hair pulling. At one point he bends Rikidozan over, punches him between the shoulder blades. That's not normal. Just incredible chops, punches, and then another shot to the groin. You know, there's one that actually does look like it makes some nut contact.
Yeah.
There's one late in the match. And Blassie just, at one point towards the end here, appears to actually, he's got Ricky down on his back. Rikidozan, I keep calling him Ricky. We got Rickies. We got 2 Rickies. We got 2 Rickies, 2 Freddys, and 2 Jasons in this show, folks. So Rikidozan is on his back, and Blassie holds him down, hands on his shoulders, looks out at the crowd and goes, "Ha!" like straight up vampire shit, and then just bites him on the neck. And that's right towards the end. He bites him in the neck, the throat. And then Ricky fights back, still refuses to go after him while he's on his knees. And eventually the bell rings. And the commentator says, "That's the curfew."
The curfew. That's our butch.
Like, who fucking... Like, all right, so this is a world title fight. Referee calls the match for Rikidozan. Rikidozan's the new world champion after a 1-0 curfew decision in a 2 out of 3 falls match.
You take him how you get him.
That's how it was then, right? I mean, nobody's dropping a proper fall at this level, right? I mean, even like for the next 20 years, nobody would drop a real fall. Like, not in a main event level, not unless you were blowing off something big. And even then, like Bruno would beat his fucking, his top rivals in a cage match, and they'd never actually get pinned.
Yeah.
Shit like that, There's always some bullshit. Rikidozan is your new champion, and he's handed the belt, and the belt is fucking sick. It's a plate. It's a title plate that's like, you can make the size of it with your fingers, like holding up a circle.
Yeah.
And then there's like some other little plates that are the size of Oreo cookies or whatever, like around the sides, And it looks completely unlike a modern wrestling belt. But it looks heavy. It looks real. It's very cool. And Blassie is like still going after him. He's pissed. He's going after Rikidozan, throwing punches at him, and then referee Johnny Red Shoes Dugan.
Johnny Red Shoes Dugan.
All right, I'm glad you heard Dugan, because I thought it was like this Dugan. Then I corrected it to Lennon, and I was like, this is no Lennon. This guy's no Vladimir or John. I mean, Johnny Lennon is his name. His name was Johnny Lennon.
Yeah. Johnny Red Shoes Lennon.
Yeah.
He's wearing red shoes in that photo where he's doing that
walk. Yeah. He was wearing those shoes when he was shot. Imagine There's No Wrestling. Blood
Red Shoes. That was a band.
Yeah.
Like some British shoegaze band from like 2008.
Oh yeah, of course.
Like that. Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah. The revival, the shoegaze revival, of course. Blassie rips this ref's shirt half off at one point, just trying to fight Rikidozan. He grabs the microphone hanging from the ceiling and like protests the decision.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some cool post-match promos with Rikidozan and Togo from Odd Job from Goldfinger.
Yeah, Harold Scott.
Who again calls him Mr. Dozan. Which I do, after seeing that, I was sure, okay, well, his first name is Ricky and his last name is Dozan. I mean, the proof is right there. Fucking Odd Job said it. And it's just the best. It's so simple and so unique. I mean, probably not unique for the time, but for matches we've covered on this show.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't get any more fucking primitive and base level than this. It's so cool. Had you seen this one before?
No, it was awesome.
Yeah,
we did it.
Yeah. I had seen it years ago, and then I had been wanting to rewatch it, so I'm glad that we got back to it. Freddie Blassie, great guy. I guess we've covered the two biggest Rikidozan matches on tape now, right? It's this one, I feel like, and it's the Destroyer match. And then there's the Kimura match where he shoots on him, right? That's famous. There's like the Fez matches.
Yeah, I was thinking about Fez.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll probably come back to Rikidozan at some point.
We have at least one or two of those Fez matches in full.
Yeah, one of them's 60 minutes. That's the one I've seen. There's a 60-minute draw that I remember really liking, but I watched it, I downloaded it from The Ditch in like 2010.
Yeah.
And I don't know. That was like me trying to educate myself. I have no idea what I thought of it. I'm sure I liked it, but maybe I never even watched it. Maybe I just had the AVI file on my computer for a long time, and then that computer died, and I never actually watched it. Who knows? I do like his vibe, though. He's like big.
Yeah.
He seems bigger than a lot of,
Well, he's big, but he was not a particularly tall man. But he just has he has those broad shoulders.
Incredible traps.
Yeah, and he's got he doesn't have a sumo body like we think of it, but he's certainly he's got no neck,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. He's like a Nakanishi kind of guy.
Yeah, a taller, not bald version of Ishii.
Yeah. That's a good call. Yeah, he's fascinating to watch. It makes total sense that he was the guy.
Oh, absolutely.
The godfather of Japanese pro wrestling. I have no issue buying that, and I can see how he started it all, because he's electric to watch.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so from one Freddy to another, we're going to I don't know. Is this in Cleveland? It's somewhere near Cleveland, Ohio.
This is Jeffersontown.
Jeffersontown.
Jefferton Alive.
There you go.
Fucking.
From Absolute Intense Wrestling, the Bill Alfonso Hardcore Tournament #1, AIW. This is July 30th, 2022. It's Ultra Mantis Black versus Nightmare Freddy. Now, had you seen this one?
No. I'm glad we watched it.
Yeah, the Bill Alfonso tournament. I don't know did they do one this year? Surely they did.
No, I don't think so.
Oh,
because they've had weird budget issues and fucking Triller TV dying.
Oh,
and all
right.
that shit, or whatever the fuck happened.
Right.
Bunch of bullshit. That's what happened.
That's right. Yeah, they should just put their shows on IWTV. I know it makes less money, but still.
They're doing a YouTube thing now.
Okay, well, sure. Of course they are. This is
in Jefferson, Ohio, at the Ashtabula County Fairgrounds.
Sure. That was what I thought it was. We got Joe Sposto on the call, friend of the show. We had Matt Wadsworth also on the show. Not really a friend of the show, but he's there.
We just don't know him.
Yeah. No, I like Wads. Immediately, Joe on commentary shouts out "Weird Body," "Thrift Store Jobber," and Caden in the first 30 seconds. So we're in AIW here, and AIW, of course, is the for modern indies, it's the most communal one.
Yeah.
We've got friends that were part of it, and friends that were a part of it forever ago, obviously worldwide, but then there's Joe, and then there's Colette.
Yeah.
Was a part of these shows forever ago, and Weird Body, this is one of those that if you're online and you're part of the wrestling community, then you've got some sort of close connection to AIW, whether you watch their shows or not. Yeah. So it's always fun. And I looked up Caden. Caden's account is deactivated.
Yeah, he got canceled for something.
He got canceled?
Yeah, I don't know what he did.
Oh, I was hoping he just went offline.
Well, maybe he went offline, but he was canceled.
Oh, well, I hope he's fine. I hope it wasn't that bad, because he seemed like a good kid, but I could be wrong. A great GIF poster. One of the best GIF posters of all, for sure.
Great GIFs.
I looked him up today, and I was like, where'd he go? I'm not going to dig too deep. Just private your account. That way we know you're still alive, at least. Nightmare Freddy, of course. Doug Gilbert. And this is Doug Gilbert.
This is Dougie.
Yeah, which because Joe Sposto is sure to tell you and explain. This is not just some guy dressed as Freddy. This is the real Freddy.
Because ostensibly you could have just gotten one of the Bitcoin boys to do it or something.
Yeah,
that counts as a Nightmare Freddy match.
Yeah.
But is it really a Nightmare Freddy match? Of course not.
Yeah, Nightmare Mikey. What is it? It's Mikey Montgomery, and then what's the other guy's name?
Eric Taylor.
Eric Taylor. I know yeah. Okay. The two finalists from the J-Lit this year.
Yeah. It's Nightmare Freddy, but it's Faye Jackson, and Nightmare Freddy's got a great ass now.
Yeah, Nightmare Freddy, Faye Jackson is very funny. Nightmare Freddy comes out to Dream Warriors by Dokken. Of course, Dream Warriors by Dokken is the theme song from Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors. One of the coolest songs ever. And I was watching this. My daughter was in the room while I watched this, and she said, "Is that Rainbow in the Dark?" Because that's like become one of my kids' favorite songs.
Aww.
Is Rainbow in the Dark by Dio, because I played it randomly one day.
Yeah.
And they were like, they jammed out to that.
Hell yeah.
And I was like, no, it's not, but it's very similar. Good ear. Good job. You can tell the new wave of British heavy metal. You know what the sound is. And then, all right, Freddy gets in with the knife glove. Freddy's got the fucking knife glove. And
He's got the knife glove.
It's legit. And we'll find out how legit towards the end. Joe mentions the resume of Freddy. Says he's appeared in Memphis, Wing, and also in the Nightmares of Many. Which, just the idea that he's appeared in Memphis, Wing, and in your nightmares, that's a resume.
He's seen some shit.
Yeah.
And he showed you some shit, I suppose, too.
He's been everywhere. Do you like the Nightmare on Elm Street films? Have you seen them?
Yeah. I watched almost all of the... I think I've seen all of them, actually, at this point. Except I don't give a shit about the Sam Bayer directed remake. I just don't care. But
I never watched that.
Yeah.
Isn't it Brad Dourif? Or no?
No, it's Jackie Earle Haley.
Oh, okay. Another freak.
I like Jackie Earle Haley, but I'm like that. I don't care.
I went, yeah, but you could see how I'd think it was the one guy. And
yeah,
okay. No, I like Jackie Earle Haley too. He's a Brad Dourif kind of guy.
Oh yeah, great character actor.
Yeah, Brad Dourif is Chucky, of course. I'm losing my mind.
Love it. I mean, I guess I feel like Nightmare 2 is my favorite. I could be wrong.
Nightmare 2 is good. 3 is my favorite. Chuck Russell.
3 is terrific. Those
Rennie Harlan did 4. The Dream Child. I think it's the Dream Child.
Yeah.
And then 5 and 6 are
Dream Master.
The Dream Master. Dream Child is 5. Maybe. Who knows?
I liked 4.
3 and 4 are my favorites.
I like New Nightmare a good bit.
I need to go back to that one. That one's
Freddy's dead, can take or leave.
That's 6. That's the one that has Breckenmeyer, and he like is transported into the video game.
Yeah.
Is that right? I remember thinking it was underrated, but still not very good because people think it's terrible.
I gave it like 2.5 on Letterboxd.
I think I went 2.5 as well. I think I also went 2.5. Yeah, I need to watch New Nightmare.
I never liked the first installment of a horror movie the most. That's like, I feel like it's perverse too, almost. Like, it's like you really gotta love like form and I'm here for like the freak shit at this point. I want to see.
Yeah. No, 3 and 4 are better than 1. Halloween though. I mean, 3, well...
I liked 3 more. I like 3 more than I like the first one.
3 is...
I don't know.
Not, but it's not even a sequel, right? Like, Season of the Witch is hardly...
it's an anthology thing at that point, yeah. And then...
Halloween is the best Michael Myers movie. Halloween 78. Although you love those zombie movies, don't you?
I like Halloween. I think Halloween 2 is the best. The zombie one is the best Michael Myers movie. But I don't know.
I hear that. It's a cool movie.
Yeah.
Did you watch the David Gordon Green trilogy?
I haven't yet.
People hate those movies. The third one was super hated, and I thought it was very ambitious, and it's not a home run, but I thought, what the fuck, Halloween Ends? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty interesting. I don't know. But I think Halloween 1978 is the best. I love it. I love that shit. But yeah, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Fucking great. We don't have a... What's the Michael Myers character? Is it just Homicide and Boogaloo?
Yeah, because I don't think there's ever truly been like a Halloween Mike, which seems stupid, but...
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, right?
It's weird. It's like...
Well, it's a Shatner mask, right? Isn't that the deal?
Yeah, it's like... It doesn't... I don't know, something about the character doesn't fit as viscerally, but that's silly. I don't know. He's got enough accoutrement.
Yeah, it's where we've got Freddy, Jason, Leatherface. There's Crypt the Keeper.
Yeah.
Which, obviously we're not covering on this show, but I do like Crypt the Keeper. I think he's a good character. He's a friend. He's a friend of the show.
Yeah, they're what the fuck am I thinking of in terms of like the big bastard villain?
Who is the guy that
Slashers.
wrestles in the ghost face from
I was
Scream?
thinking of I can't think of one.
I mean,
now.
surely a billion guys have done that on like shitty indies.
Yeah, like Danhausen probably has or something.
Oh, Danhausen is a guy. Why aren't we doing a Danhausen match?
This has been a good match in like
Why are we
8
doing
years
it?
now.
8 years. Yeah, more like 1,000.
Those production matches are good, but he's like the worst. He's like the worst guy in those matches.
What if we did like we got to pick one AIW match? We pick a Danhausen and what Brian Carson or whatever the
Frankie Flynn.
Frankie Flynn.
I got time for Frankie Flynn.
Wasn't Frankie Flynn was I mean, God bless him. Didn't he he had like a disability or something, right? Didn't he have like part of his skull removed and that's why he fucking wrestled so weird?
He might have.
I'm pretty sure worldwide if you're listening. I'm pretty sure Frankie Flynn had like a horrific brain injury as a child or something, and that's why every time he bumped it looked fucking weird as hell. I'm pretty sure. A friend of the show will confirm or deny this, but
He works I believe he works at Disney World now.
oh, good for him. Is Dr. Daniel C. Rockingham still wrestling?
He retired, but I think he's back.
Right. Okay. I mean, so did Magnum CK, and he just retired again. I saw.
I mean, Dr. Dan's waiting for his dad to retire from running the drag race car, so he can go 250 miles per hour himself.
Okay,
that's what I would like
this
to
rings
think.
a bell. Okay. Oh, AIW, it's the best. It's the best. All right, Ultra Mantis Black, not a guy that I necessarily associate with AIW. I mean, as much as Chikara, obviously, but his roots are very much in that promotion, right?
There's a lot of crossover in those in booking Chikara guys
I mean, that's
in
true.
AIW,
Show's
and
supposed to.
I mean he won the title. I mean, everybody, like a million of those promotions had relationships with Chikara back in the day because Quack was a smart guy about like getting his guys booked places.
Yeah, he was a networker for sure. All right, so this starts with Ultra Mantis goes for a test of strength. Recco Groman knuckle lock, as Prezak used to say. And then he backs out of it when he realizes that Freddy has knives in his hands, which is a very funny spot. And then one of the knives falls out of the glove, which is super funny. And then it allows Mantis to attack him from behind and remove the glove. They go out to the floor. They wrestle around on the floor, brawl around. At one point, they go over to the entranceway, and Mantis throws Freddy through the W of the AIW sign, and then Freddy picks up half of a broken light tube and smashes it over Mantis' abdomen.
Yeah,
Which feels like an escalation that is not really capitalized on. Like when
there was just that one broken half a light tube there.
I love that, though. I love the idea of Doug Gilbert picking up a half a light tube and it not being planned and Mantis being like, okay. And there's like a baby in the crowd and someone tells Freddy to use the baby as a weapon. I'm not really sure. I didn't see the baby, but I heard them talking about it on commentary.
Yeah.
There's the wooden chairs at ringside. Joe Sposto wonders if there's a chair deposit, the classic AIW chair deposit, where John Thorne will yell, "Don't break the chairs, or else we have to pay all this money."
Because the rental chairs.
The rental chairs. And the Venom Wadsworth says he's pretty sure the chairs are fair game. And they were provided by the venue, so it's fine. And then Freddy throws one of these fucking heavy wooden chairs at Mantis' head.
It's really accurate throw, really good throw.
Yeah, it's a Sabu-esque. And they fight up to the bleachers. This is not much here, honestly. We're gonna burn right through this, but they fight into the bleachers. They brawl around in these sort of fairground style bleachers, and it's a fun venue. It looks great. It's sparsely attended. But and there's people like stepping over, like there are people like climbing over rows of bench seats to try to get away from them. Mantis hits Freddy with a Mountain Dew at one point.
I like the setup of these like this grandstand at like the fairground. I thought it was cool.
Yeah, it is cool. It's and then it's just an open back. Like the hard cam is there in the grandstand. So that's, if anything, I didn't like the setup of the way they decided to shoot this, because if they hadn't brawled up there, then we would have never seen this cool fucking setup they had.
Yeah.
Wadsworth and Joe Sposto were like deep 10 rows into the grandstand. That's their booth.
But I mean, I guess you would have tried to. I guess like you would have needed to like set up like a scaffold or something on the other side. Plus, like the ring bell is on the other. I don't know. It's like a little friend together, but it works. I mean, it's visually cool enough that it's like I mean, I'm not here to criticize, really.
Right. Well, and then also it would reveal that there's not that many people in the stands if you had the crowd, like the camera on the crowd the whole time. So I guess that's not good either. They brawl down the bleachers, and Mantis hits a DDT on the bottom level of the bleachers. And then he picks up a garbage can. It's like a shoot garbage can, and someone yells, "No, don't!" because they're going to have to pick up all the trash if he hits him with it. Yeah. And then Freddy throws Mantis inside the garbage can, like head first into the garbage can. Joe Sposto says he's pretty sure that's the can he saw someone throw up into earlier. Which sounds right. I mean, that's what AIW shows are like. There's a lot of puking. A lot of guys are puking in the parking lot and stuff.
Yeah.
Who was the one guy who became famous on the podcast, on the AIW podcast, for eating a girl's pussy on top of a dumpster?
I believe it was Nick Stapp, CPA.
Nick Stapp, CPA. Of course it was. It was CPA. Yeah. I remember that now. Yeah. I'm glad that you remember that. So glad that you remember the same things that I remember.
Someone's got to remember these things.
Yeah,
it's us.
Me and you.
Yeah, it's us.
And then back in the ring, Freddy, Doug Gilbert again. Freddy gets the knife glove back on, and this is the highlight of the match. This is the thing that I remembered from this match. He slashes Mantis in the belly with the knife glove. The knife glove. Grabs a Cobra Clutch. 3-arm drop, KO victory. But then, so it's over. Freddy advances to the final. In the post-match, you can see when Mantis walks away from the ring, he's got like 4 legitimate huge slashes on his belly. From what I guess were real knives on that glove. Which in my head, I saw this, I watched this match when it happened, and I hadn't seen it since. But in my head, that happened like in the first couple minutes, and then he's bleeding for the whole match. I don't know why I thought that, but to see the Freddy Krueger glove get used in the way that it really would in one of the movies, and slash his fucking belly open like that, I just think it's the craziest shit.
Oh yeah, no, for damn sure.
And Mantis is a freak.
It's a great visual.
Yeah, it's too bad that it happens. You don't even see the wounds until after the match is over. But
yeah,
if anybody,
and then again, that's like
this,
that's a convincing finish,
Oh yeah. He's fucked. There's nowhere to go from there. And then I don't know what Freddy did in the final. I can't remember. Watched the show forever ago, but Nightmare Freddy. Mm-hmm. He wrestled Jerry Lawler. All right, and then from Freddy to Jason and Jason, right?
Yeah.
All right, ready?
All right, from July fucking 14th at Korakuen Hall for IWA Japan, it's Jason the Terrible versus the new Jason the Terrible in a casket match.
Okay. So every time I've seen this match, I saw this match years ago, and I knew it was awesome, but I always forget, okay, it's Tracy Smothers is new Jason the Terrible.
Yeah.
And I put it on, and I was like, who is this again? And I went to Cage Match, and I clicked new Jason the Terrible, and I went to Tracy Smothers' Cage Match. And I was like, oh, yeah, of course, right?
Yeah.
What I should have just done was put the fucking video on where 5 seconds into the video, the commentators say, Smoky Mountain Wrestling, Night of Legends. Tracy Smothers.
He also has the hair,
and then,
he's cursing at fans.
Yeah. He
just wrestled this match as Tracy Smothers, which, is that understanding the assignment? Well, the assignment's stupid. Just do what's cool. Just be Tracy Smothers.
It's a match between two guys dressed as Jason Voorhees. But if you're confused on which one is new Jason the Terrible, there's Jason the Terrible versus new Jason the Terrible. If you're confused on to which one is Jason the Terrible versus the new Jason the Terrible is the one that has Tracy Smothers' hair coming out of the back of the Jason mask.
Yeah.
Kind of hard to miss. He's also got a cleaner jumpsuit, but that's beside the point. Yeah. This is, so it's Jason the Terrible, who is, of course, the Jason the Terrible that you all know and love from IWA Japan and whatnot. Yeah. The commentators say Smoky Mountain Wrestling, Tracy Smothers, over and over, which I just... Why are they calling out his real identity?
It's like a lucha, Matt. Like, I always think about when Matt Taven was in CMLL, and they were always referring to him as Matthew Martinelli. And it's like, you don't need to do that. His name's Matt Taven. He's Matt Taven. He's Matt Square Taven, bro.
They're doing shoot names. It's real over there. It's just real shit over there.
He's never had to, like, my name's Matthew Martinelli. I lost my mask. I'm a bitch. I'm a pussy. I'm sorry.
It was interesting when he was Matthew Martinelli in Masquerado, and then he lost his mask and he became Matt Taven. That was a crazy gimmick change for him.
So you just have, like, this Puerto Rican dude, I don't know his real name, unfortunately, and Tracy Smothers.
Yeah, he is Puerto Rican.
Kind of looks like Brain Damage. Like,
oh my god, I wrote that down too. Hell yeah!
Yeah, it looks like a combination of Brain Damage and Joker.
I was gonna say, all right, I've got it written down. It's a few paragraphs down, but I have Brain Damage could have played new Jason the Terrible if he wasn't dead, of course. Marine haircut kind of thing,
Yeah.
That's so great. I'm so glad that you...
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah. All right, so Tracy Smothers, new Jason, excuse me. I'm not gonna refer to him as Tracy Smothers, because that's not the character he's playing. We respect kayfabe on the show. This is new Jason the Terrible. New Jason the Terrible attacks Jason the Terrible in the entryway to start. They climb, they fight through the Korakuen crowd. They go on the near side of the Korakuen Hall bleachers. The crowd chants, Jason, Jason, Jason.
They're impartial, really.
They love Jason. And then the commentators just start saying, Tracy Smothers. And then one of them says, Tracy Smothers. Tracy Smothers. He's like trying to figure out how to say it. Anyways, new Jason tries to throw Jason over the balcony at Korakuen Hall. Jason blocks it and looks visibly upset. They headbutt their hockey masks into each other, and then new Jason rips off Jason's mask, throws his Jason mask off the balcony, which I thought was just an incredible turn. A guy that we've never seen his face, right?
Yeah.
New Jason.
He just doesn't give a shit. He doesn't give a fuck.
It's rude. It almost if the match hadn't played out the way it did following this, I would think it was like Tracy Smothers being an asshole.
It's emasculating, but at the same time, he is the one trying to prove that he is the real Jason the Terrible, even though he's technically not the real. I mean,
he's the new Jason.
I'm the real Jason.
Yeah,
because I'm the new one. You're the old one. I'm the new hotness.
I'm new. You're Jason. I'm new Jason. You're old Jason. That's what he basically came out and said it. He was right to do it. Honestly, he was right to do it. This is where I wrote down that he looks like Brain Damage. Jason has his face painted. He's got that marine haircut. He looks like Brain Damage, as we mentioned. Cameras follow the Jasons down the halls of All right, they follow Jason and Jason down the halls of Korakuen Hall. That's a sentence I wrote.
Yeah.
New Jason yells, "Get the fuck out of here!" at some of the people trying to follow them down the hall here in Corkin Hall. He's shoving civilians. He's pissed off. New Jason's going nuts. And then again, he tries to throw Jason over the balcony. The crowd again chants, "Jason, Jason, Jason." So glad we added this. Now, New Jason the Terrible, great punches.
It's so fucking funny that he's throwing his punch combinations and shit. That's not real. That don't really make sense, but it's cool. Okay.
At least he didn't do the kung fu. At least he didn't do his Now, Mark Briscoe's kung fu shit? Is that a Tracy Smothers tribute?
I suppose, yeah.
I wonder.
What if it's really a Stan Lane tribute?
Oh, that makes as much sense, though. Yeah. God, Southern Boys, Midnights. Remember when we did that match?
That's a great match.
I wonder how that podcast is. Probably pretty good, right?
I think it's a good episode.
That's one I've never gone back and listened to. I bet it's good, though. The Bobby Eaton tribute show. Mm-hmm. Yeah, New Jason, great punches, man. Fuck. And then, this is a coffin match. Coffin match.
Yeah, you put the other Jason, the loser Jason, into the casket, and they have to stay there for 10 seconds, like a Texas Death Match, and then you win.
It's a coffin 10 count. It's a last Jason standing match.
Yeah,
that's really what it is. But we say coffin, it's really just a big black box. It's a big black box. It looks like looks like a box you would, I don't know. It's barely wide enough to house a Jason. A Jason can barely fit in this box, honestly. We didn't mention that it is a coffin match. Although you might have. I think you said casket, though.
I think I said casket.
Now, what's the difference between a coffin and a casket?
There's none.
There isn't?
Not that I know of.
So you know when they bury a person, they put them in the ornate box, and then they put them in another box, and they put the dirt on that shit. You know about this? You seen this?
Well, I suppose that's like that was a weird yawn. Yeah, that was
it's great.
Time. I suppose that's what to prevent grave robbery and such.
Yeah. Nailing the coffin. You don't nail the casket shut. You just latch it. I think the casket is the this is according to Wikipedia, any box in which the dead are buried is a coffin. And while a casket was originally regarded as a box for jewelry, use of the word casket in this sense began as a euphemism introduced by the Undertaker's trade. So, we're talking Taker. Right talking Taker. Donald Trump's best friend.
So
his third best friend.
This fucking stupid bitch, Mark. This ugly motherfucker.
It's so funny.
Donald Trump's best friend, Tony Hinchcliffe.
It's Tony. All right, the ranking goes: Elon 1, Kill Tony 2, Undertaker 3. That's the top 3 friends of Donald Trump.
Yeah, fucking stupid ass mean Mark. I hate this motherfucker.
It's so funny.
He did it to me. He did it to me explicitly. Nobody else needs to care about this. But he did it to me.
You are the biggest Undertaker defender of all.
I am. I will.
You were.
I still am.
Yeah, you still
I'm
are.
voting for Trump now because this ugly man.
Yeah.
Get Kane.
We're voting for Donald Trump because the Undertaker. Yep, that's all there is to it. Are there people out there that are like, well, I wasn't sure who I was going to vote for, but I fucking love the Undertaker, so I'm going to vote for Donald Trump now? There's got to be at least one guy.
I think that's more dignified than if you said, well, I don't know who I'm voting for. I didn't know who I was voting for, but I fucking love Joe Rogan, so I'm voting for Donald Trump now. I think that is. At least The Undertaker was in a Hell in a Cell.
Who are some of the celebrities that came out for Kamala? It's obviously Beyonce, but there was one that was Taylor Swift was the one. Yeah. So there's guaranteed thousands of people who were just going to vote for Kamala Harris because of Taylor Swift. Right? Unfortunately, that is the state of American identity in politics. There's nothing more than that to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Now, that's why
Taylor Swift's a big bitch. I'd like to see her in the ring.
Yeah, she'd go.
She's 5'10".
Yeah.
5'11". She's ridiculously tall.
Yeah, and Chapel Roan's over here, an undecided voter, and she's smaller than Stephanie Vacker and Gulia. You've seen this bitch, Gulia? Said I wasn't going to do this. How the fuck you say her name? Gulia?
See, you can't do this after you've been doing the Brindley Reese bit so hard, though.
Yeah.
Brianna Ruggiero, that's such a nice Italian name. And
Yeah.
Julie,
Gulia.
what the hell is this gay shit?
Gulia.
What is this gay shit?
How do you say this?
Julia.
And is she supposed to be black?
Okay, that is completely worth pointing out. That she has very weird race things going on.
Is she?
Because I don't know what her deal is, because she's not black.
Is she supposed to be black or Italian?
Japanese.
Or is she Japanese? Is she black or Italian? Or... No, I did this bit in the DM.
She could be any of those.
I did this in the group chat.
But she's only Italian and Japanese. She's not black.
Very little response. I thought people would be howling over my is Gulia black or Italian or Japanese bit. And
all I know is that Bozilla is German.
Bozilla is German as hell.
You should watch the Bozilla Sari match. That match is good. Great. I don't know. Good. Absolutely.
Sari was wrestling. Is that how you say her name?
Yeah, Sari.
Is it Gulia? Gulia versus Sari?
Julia.
No, I know. I know it's Julia. And I know she's Japanese, but also is she black or Italian? I'm not sure. I thought this bit would kill, and it has not. And folks, I apologize. Gulia. All right, new Jason hits old Jason. No, not old Jason. It's just Jason. New Jason hits Jason with a chair. The crowd chants for Jason. Mm-hmm. Jason's busted open. Of course, and this is one of the great disadvantages of the horror movie characters that worked in Wing and IW Japan, is that you never really get to see him bleed, you know?
Yeah.
Because of the mask. This problem has been quickly resolved due to new Jason throwing Jason's mask off of a fucking balcony.
And it does feel like he prepared for that somewhat, because he does have the face paint.
Oh yeah, no, I mean it's very clearly like a deliberately planned out thing. Like these guys are going out there to have the greatest match that's ever happened between two Jasons.
Yeah,
they're
a task that I guess would only be taken up by the junior heavyweight division in IW Mid-South 2009.
Oh yeah,
Heyo.
Yeah, Jason Jet versus Jason Cross.
I don't know if that happened. That would have been a cool match.
Could have happened. Those guys were both being Jasons around the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jason Jet versus Jason Cross here at the Wild Side, the NCW Wild Side Arena. Yeah. I'm joined by Steven Prazak. I am Dan the Dragon Wilson. That wasn't a bad Dan.
The most Jasons ever in one building. Marietta, Georgia. Yeah, it sounded good. It sounded like Dan the Dragon. New Jason, where's the new Jason? Okay, new Jason flips the crowd off. He makes a flat stack of 3 chairs, lifts Jason over the top from the apron, drapes him over, hits vintage Randy Orton onto the chair stack.
Yeah.
Now, was that a Tracy move?
I don't really think of that.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody do that in 1994.
It's cool.
Draping DDT? Like, that's crazy. New Jason throws Jason to the coffin, and then this is where I was like, "Oh, it's a 10 count. Okay, we're doing a 10 count down it's a 10 count down in the coffin rules match. It's a last Jason standing match, of course. Jason's down in the coffin until 9 when he sits up, not unlike the Undertaker. Donald Trump's third best friend, the Undertaker.
Yeah,
you know, Donald Trump loves his friends. He's got the Undertaker, Elon Musk, Hannibal Lecter. He says Jason the Terrific. I call him Jason the Terrific. Jason the Terrific.
Leatherface in the corner, by the way. Leatherface in the corner fucking rules.
I never spotted Leatherface until the
post-match. Yeah, it's really funny that he's just the corner man. He's just issuing words of support for his boy, New Jason. I think it's they're to support New Jason. I'm not sure.
He doesn't
interfere or anything.
We'll talk about it at the end. But I was under the impression that he changed his alignment from Jason to New Jason during the course of the match or after the finish.
He was conflicted. It was like SummerSlam 92, you know?
Yeah.
You know, like
Diana. Yeah.
Just like, I don't know, it's my brother versus my husband.
Versus my husband who drugs and rapes me. Yes.
I was going to say,
Yes, of course.
I don't know if he started doing that, drugging the orange juice, because Anvil told him. Yeah, because he was raping Natty's mom.
New Jason, I'm fucked. New Jason. I can't remember shit. I'm fucked. Yeah, that's what he's saying. What about Donald Trump
If he told that to Tracy Smothers, his plan would have just been to punch someone in the crowd and start a massive riot in Wembley Stadium. That's a shame.
Yeah, it's too bad we never got it.
He just could have called someone's mom a whore.
Yeah. Although, his brand of weird racism that Tracy Smothers would do towards the end of his career, would have just got over as a babyface in England.
Oh yeah, no.
That's progress to me. I had a bit that I was going to do about Trump loving Leatherface, but I don't know where it was going to go, and I'm not going to do it now. Something about how the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Folks, have you seen the Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
They love me
It's
here.
what they did to Mika Brzezinski's face. I'm bringing this feud back. Nobody's talked about it in a long time.
That was good. Where you hit the K really hard
and
back.
I hate it.
That was good. God, I hope he wins.
He's going to be a president again.
I hope he wins. I don't hope he wins. I don't
hope he wins either.
I would prefer if he didn't. But I think it'd be
funny
really
It'd be funny if he died. But not if he won and then died.
If he won and then died and then J.D. Vance became the president?
That would suck dick.
What if that happens?
It would be terrible.
That's a very possible scenario.
Like, our first fucking, anime pedophile president. We've had plenty of pedophile presidents. We've never had an anime pedophile president.
Yeah, you can't have a woman.
And you know what?
You can only
I'd
have
like to
this.
fucking hold off.
Yeah, he's cool. Texas Chainsaw Massacre? I can't even do Trump anymore. I've lost it. I mean, Trump can't even do Trump anymore.
Folks, I'm Donald Trump, and here's what I'm doing. I'm doing an impression of Triple H now.
Yeah, perfect. Nailed it. Yeah, I don't see color, folks.
I don't see color, I only see talent, and that talent, I don't see it in Kamala Harris, Comrade Kamala.
All right, so New Jason gets heaved over the top rope. And New Jason skins the cat.
He fucking spends 4 minutes he's skinning the cat in his white shoes, too. That's when I noticed the white shoes, which are very funny.
Yes, Jason has black boots. New Jason has white boots. Yes. Stark contrast. It's really a light versus dark, a good versus evil sort of thing happening here, for sure. Yeah. The yin and yang of Jason. For sure. Mm-hmm. And so Tracy Smothers, in a Jason mask, he skins the cat, and it takes him a while. It takes him a good goddamn long while to pull himself back up. But when he does, and I will say, a guy in a Jason Voorhees mask skinning the cat is funny. That's funny shit.
Yeah.
Hits a harsh lariat. Then Jason returns fire. Awesome stinger splash. Lariats New Jason over the top to the floor. Jason vaults over the top, lands on the apron, and then does, I shit you not, Jason the Terrible hits an Acai moonsault.
It's fucking good.
What the fuck?
It's a cool moonsault. I don't know if it's a good moonsault, but it's a cool moonsault.
Oh, he nails it. Yeah, he barely gets the rotation.
He's like a stubby dude.
Oh, he's big.
He's not short, but he's stubby. He's built like a brick shit house.
He doesn't look like he should do an Acai moonsault.
No.
Also, he's Jason, which also makes no sense.
Yeah, but I mean, after Tracy was doing his fucking punches, who gives a shit?
Yeah, the crowd chants Jason after this.
Jason.
Back in the ring, Jason.
Dueling chants of Jason.
Yeah,
Jason.
This is the first dueling chant.
Half
the crowd is chanting for Jason. The other half of the crowd is chanting for also Jason. Back in the ring, Jason puts New Jason in the coffin. New Jason sits up at the count of 8. He also sits up like The Undertaker, but it's a very slim box, so I guess it's kind of the only way you can sit up in it. New Jason goes up, hits a missile drop kicks Jason into the coffin. It looks awesome, but the coffin falls over sideways, and then he has to flip him back in it. Jason up at 9. This is a really good near fall, for lack of a better term, when Jason, not New Jason. I got him confused. When Jason sits...
New.
Yeah, this is Jason, not New Jason. He sits up, And they've got, it's from the ringside camera, like a handheld on the floor, so you can't really see him in the coffin. So when he sits up, he just appears into the frame, and you see people, the Korakuen crowd, like on the opposite side of the ring, is like standing on their feet and like pumping their fists in the air for Jason sitting up in the coffin. And why shouldn't they be, of course? And then new Jason goes up top, hits a top rope shoulder block. Now, I've never seen a move quite like this. This is not like a missile style, like Road Warrior Hawk flying shoulder block. Yeah. This is just a fucking standard ass second day of wrestling school shoulder block, except he did it from the top rope and he lands on his feet. The crowd boos. And this is the first time any Jason has been booed in this match. New Jason puts Jason in the coffin and shrugs his shoulders at the crowd. Says, "Hey, what do you want from me?" Then new Jason hits Jason with a chair. He pops the seat out of it. Where you hit him in the head with the Korakuen chair, and the fucking cushion flies off. That's classic. And then they lay the coffin. He lays the coffin lid against the bottom rope. The commentators are laughing their asses off. He put the whole coffin in the corner, bottom side facing out in the corner. They trade Irish whips into the coffin. They're bumping into the bottom of the coffin. They go back outside and they come back inside.
When new Jason pulls the casket out in a very rude way, there's like a very disgusting looking neck, snap on part of Jason. Well, that we're gonna end up overriding that by the end of this match, but it was really gross.
Sure,
it's gross. There's a lot of gross neck stuff in this match.
Yeah, new Jason doesn't seem to care much about the safety of Jason, I'll say.
No. I guess that's appropriate.
Yeah, that's character stuff. That's just character work. He gives Jason a fucking pile driver through the coffin lid, snapping the wood in half. He then slams that wood onto Jason, and it floats almost like a piece of paper, a very light piece of particle board, and the crowd laughs. New Jason hits a fucking powerbomb, of all things, on Jason. Jason sits up. Good color on Jason, especially considering you've never seen his skin, much less his blood. And then new Jason picks up Jason for another powerbomb. And then this is supposed to be into the coffin, right? I think in theory he's going to powerbomb him directly into the coffin for the finish.
Yeah.
But he can't get him all the way up. Struggles to get him up. Sort of ends up sideways. Jason,
yeah.
When, you've seen powerbombs go wrong, but like the jackknife powerbomb kind of, where he just kind of lets go of him.
Yeah.
Jason ends up sideways, lands perpendicular to the fucking coffin, neck over the edge of the hardwood. Like this part, the wood is solid for this. His neck just snaps over the edge of the wood, and it's one of the ugliest, scariest bumps I've ever seen in my life. And in theory, new Jason was supposed to powerbomb Jason directly into the coffin, and then that would be the finish.
Didn't work.
Since he misses and he just hits him, he just drops him neck first onto the side of the coffin. He has to just kind of throw him in the coffin, and then that's the finish.
Yeah.
So that's the finish, folks. New Jason is now Jason. New Jason wins the title of Jason, in theory. Post-match, Leatherface comes in, stands over his friend Jason in the coffin. New Jason comes in the ring, stares down Leatherface. This is where I thought Leatherface was making the decision to go with new Jason.
Nah.
Yeah. Friendship ended with Jason the Terrible. Now new Jason the Terrible is my friend.
Leatherface is a fucking front runner.
Yeah.
He's a fake fan.
Yeah.
Big fan.
He's watched the whole, he's seen Jason Takes Manhattan,
Jason the Terrible has learned that sometimes you gotta cut the grass to find the snakes.
Yeah.
Leatherface.
I know that's right. Sorry, I'm picking my nose. If I sounded weird. Sorry. Leatherface holds up new Jason's hand, and commentator says, because he's shocked. And then Leatherface gets his chainsaw. Him and new Jason walk through the crowd, and, they're friends now. After the match, Jason takes a very long time to get out of the coffin.
Oh, yeah. He ain't doing great.
The crowd chants Jason, Jason, Jason. And eventually he does make his way up and out of the coffin. Crowd continues to chant Jason. Jason gets on the mic, says he won't wear the mask until he defeats New Jason. Which is rich storytelling, if you ask me.
Yeah.
They were making movies in that movie in Japan. So yeah, there you go.
Hell yeah.
So glad we added that at the last minute.
Oh yeah.
Jason versus New Jason.
The scene where Tom Cruise is talking about missing his dick, and his mom is like, don't say that word. And
yeah, I
like,
remember
penis, that. Fully erect penis.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, you know what? It sounds like a great time to fucking close the window, because it's not that hot in here.
And also, you don't want to trigger your Vietnam veteran neighbor.
Who knows?
Who lost his penis.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to him. Welcome back.
There's a lot of talk about, like, just not having a dick in that movie. And, I understand. I've never had my dick blown off, for better or worse.
Oh, just send me to war. Oh, I could be so lucky. Welcome back to the podcast, folks. To Wrestling is Gross. Oh, yeah. I was thinking, my new favorite tag team, my new favorite NXT tag team, Gulia and Stephanie Vaquer.
October 7th.
Yeah.
What is that?
It was just a fucking, I don't know. That's my fault. I accidentally
stomped all over my Gulia Stephanie Vaquer bit.
Oh,
it was so good too. Yeah.
That they're gonna have Julia do a gimmick where she talks about how she didn't sexually harass people.
You're saying Gulia now? Yeah, that's good stuff.
Oh, man, that's such a bad angle.
Drew Gulak.
What the fuck's wrong with Drew Cordero? I mean, Drew Gulak is also he's desperate. He should just not talk about it, because it's like, who cares?
Oh yeah,
nobody would give a shit about it if you didn't talk about it.
Keep quiet long enough and it'll go away. That's how most things work, right?
Ronda Rousey's bound to say something really stupid, and everybody will be mad about that. She has many
times.
And it's like, because people will be like, it wasn't that bad. Because, there's so many bad things that happen.
Yeah.
This is just, I'm not trying to say Drew Gulak innocent. I'm just like, 2016 Evolve's already taken enough hits.
Yeah.
It's fucking, I can't lose this.
I wonder how Chris Dickinson's doing.
I
wonder. Welcome back, folks. Are we doing...
Jaka isn't canceled. He just doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, he's doing great. He's living a great life, I'm sure. Are we doing Monterey or Puerto Rico first?
I've said let's do Monterey.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay. God, this is gonna be another one that's tough to talk about, but this is Los Thundercats contra Trio Fantasia. This is from Monterey. I believe it's December 8th, 1991?
Yeah. 11 years after the murder of John Red Shoes Lennon.
Yeah, there you go. John Red Shoes Lennon died. That was the same date, is it right?
Yeah, December 8th.
Great. And that guy's name was Mark David Chapman. Is that him?
Yeah, Mark David Chapman.
Yeah,
He
Mark
said,
David Fat Man.
This is for Rikidozan.
This is for Rikidozan.
Where were you when he got stabbed?
Yeah,
man?
yeah.
This just World Vision. They're not. They got their. They're not, I don't see the vision they have.
No, did that guy? He went to prison, right?
Yeah, he's still in prison.
He's still in prison.
They didn't let him out. He's just an asshole. Unfortunately, he's not like a charming weirdo. Like Hinckley. He's just
so that was the thing I was going to say. I feel like I got the names Mark David Chapman and is it John William Hinckley?
I don't remember what the hell his middle name is. He just went by John Hinckley.
Oh, it's not
John Hinckley Jr.
It's not John Williams Hinckley, the guy who Star Wars theme guy.
What the fuck? John Warnock Hinckley Jr. Warnock.
There you
what
go.
A fucking middle name.
Yeah, Justice Warnock. Okay, from Monterey.
Dick Warnock.
From Monterey.
Speaking of Carpenter movies.
Oh, yeah.
Dick Warlock. Anyway, so we have the Thundercats and Trio Fantasia. So Trio Fantasia is Super Raton, who is a rat man.
Is a rat man.
Super Pinocchio, who is Pinocchio man. And Super Munico, who is a living doll man.
Yeah, Muñeco is I looked it up. It's Spanish for puppet. Basically.
Yeah, I'm your puppet.
Yeah. They're three guys that are like, child friendly, it's like mascot types.
Yeah.
And then Los Thundercats are the Thundercats from American TV.
You have Leono,
you have
Panfro, and you have Tigro.
So I think
you don't have Snarf. That's a shame.
Yeah. I looked it up because I never watched Thundercats.
I didn't either. I did. I did fucking contact a friend of the show, Tara Hellgeist, on Discord and say, Tara, did you know anything about Thundercats? And I'm like, can you share some of the lore? But she didn't get back to me after I sent her the match.
She's good. She's a good guest. We gotta get her back on.
She's just got shit to do.
She's a lot of fun. Yeah, I forgot about her. I mean, I didn't, not to be rude, but it's been a while. But I forgot how good she is.
As guests, and then we forget that we have guests because things happen. So it's
impossible to coordinate those things.
It's fucking pain in the ass, man.
Yeah.
It sucks balls.
To do a show between the two of us. What is it? It's tomorrow already.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be on until tomorrow. This is some real good old 240p lucha shit right here.
Oh yeah, man. It looks like this is like a grindcore match or something because it's like it looks visually you can't fucking tell what's happening really, but except for one thing, you know what you can tell? Violence.
Yeah, it's a bunch of guys being rude to each other for sure. It's power
violence.
There's a lot
of rudeness.
The footage is like pixelated and messy. Like I had no idea who was who for a while. I paused it like 4 minutes in and did my research and figured out kind of who was who. So I was like, okay, who's got the upper hand to start? Okay, it's the Thundercats. Okay,
yeah.
There's a yellow guy. Gets his ass kicked by the cat with the red hair. It's like I'm just like fucking struggling my first few notes. White cat rips someone's mask. Red shirt guy, is he Pinocchio? Is that right? I wrote.
Yeah.
So the Thundercats win the first fall easily. This is a Mascara contra Mascara trios match, by the way. So whoever loses this match, all three of them lose their masks. I did find myself Googling the Thundercats. First of all, I Googled this match, and I found Fredo Esparza had posted the poster for this match, for this show in Monterey in 91. And that was, first of all, very helpful, because it at least told me who the names were. And then you look at my search history, it's Super Muñeco and Super Raton. I'm trying to figure out who's who. And I did finally nail it down, although I had it backwards. Super Raton is in the yellow. Super Pinocchio, I believe it's how they say it. Pinocchio is in red, and he doesn't have a Pinocchio nose though. I kept thinking really. If he had a big long nose, it would be a lot easier for me to tell that was.
What if he had a Cyrano de Bergerac gimmick?
Yeah, there you go. That's great. I don't know if that would play in the ring. I think you might have to do promos for that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that would play just straight up in the ring. I didn't look it up.
They should give it to Hornswoggle as part of his weird beef with Peter Dinklage.
Oh, yeah,
Remember when Peter Dinklage was in a Cyrano de Bergerac movie? No, nobody does, because nobody saw it.
I saw that movie. He does, there's some really good fight choreography in it, actually.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's actually good, because I don't know anybody who's seen this movie, and I'm like, it's weird how we all agree that Peter Dinklage is one of the best actors alive, because he is.
No,
in movies. He's one of the best movie actors alive, but it's like, and then it's like, we kind of just like, I don't actually give a shit about watching him do things.
2021? It was still COVID years, so
yeah, that's an issue.
No, that's why I saw it. Because
that makes sense, yeah.
It's 2021 is when it came out.
But that's why it would be underrated for like these other freaks, maybe.
Yeah. Also, Joe Wright directed it, and I like Atonement.
Oh, I forgot that Joe Wright.
Yeah.
I need
Hannah.
to see Atonement. I didn't care. I don't care for Pride and Prejudice really, but I know people.
I never saw it.
We'll go up for Atonement who don't go for Pride and Prejudice.
We watched. What the fuck is it? Wuthering Heights. Is that where it's like they adopt It's like a.
Is that the? Was it the Andrea Arnold?
Yeah, that's the one we watched. Yeah, and it was bleak. Let me tell you, that was pretty rough stuff. Andrea Arnold. Yeah, with Heathcliff.
I got to see Fish Tank, because I know she's got a new one coming out. That's
Fish Tank's good.
Kind of like the same shit she's always doing.
Fish Tank's good. American Honey is good. She's cool.
I liked American Honey. I thought had like one great scene for every three bad scenes it had, but those great scenes were good. And I have a lot of time just for the three leads, basically. Sasha Lane, I think, is really good. Riley Keough is great, and Charles Buff is one of the most compelling presences in film. It's just that he's also a complete piece of shit.
You love Logan Lucky? Wasn't that a movie you liked?
Love Logan Lucky.
I was kind of mixed on it, but Riley Keough's great. I like her a lot.
Yeah, it's great in that. But like, you know.
Yeah.
Film time.
Yeah, what else is there to say? Pinocchio, the Guillermo del Toro Pinocchio, fantastic. The Robert Zemeckis Pinocchio, really strange.
You know what? I know how like we had that weird thing like where we like just acknowledged that HBO Max was like purging a lot of its catalog, and most of the people cared about like the cartoons and stuff. But it's so fucking weird that like they made the Witches remake, and now it just isn't circulation anymore.
Oh, was that part of the purge?
As far as I know, yeah.
Yeah, that's like, I never saw that. That's Zemeckis too, isn't it? I forgot about that.
And I'm like, do I need to see this movie because I want to see it because it's good? No, do I need to see this movie because it's fucking Anne Hathaway with the scars and the blonde hair and shit? Yes, I fucking do.
Playing the was it Angelica Houston character?
Angelica Houston, yeah.
Have you seen the trailer or any pictures from Zemeckis' new movie?
Oh,
with the de-aged Tom Hanks.
Yeah, and Robin Wright.
Robin Wright. Robin Wright still looks. I mean, well,
she does. She looks fine. Yeah,
but
Tom Hanks looks like shit.
Tom Hanks is aged considerably. That looks fucking weird. I don't know what to think about that. I don't even know the name of this movie. I
don't know what to think about Zemeckis on the whole, but though I feel like there's certain things
he's a lunatic.
That's definitely true. I feel like he's done enough things that I feel like I should watch, but I don't know that he's ever made. I don't know that of the movies I've seen of his since I restarted being like a movie person that I'm like any of these are actually good except Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
I mean, I'm not a Back to the Future person. Black to the Future?
Black to the Future, yes.
Michael J. Fox is a black guy in the future?
That'd be
in the past? Great. He goes back and he's like, Jim Crow, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Turns out his parents...
becomes her, black.
Yeah.
Flight, white.
Yeah.
That's a weird movie. That fucking John Goodman drug dealer.
Flight is awesome.
Is wild.
I like Flight. I like Castaway. I don't know. I think he's got some stuff.
I Contact had a big moment for like people.
Contact is good. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen it, so I want to see it.
Yeah, Contact.
There's a couple of decent.
Welcome to Marwen.
Yeah, the guy,
I
the weird guy fought a
said
gynephilia.
goodbye. I said goodbye to Marwin. I watched that movie and I said never goodbye to Marwin. Is what I said.
So for the record, I have 3 Zemeckis in my watch list: Contact, Used Cars, which I've never fucking
Used
seen.
Cars is fun. It's
I know
a
people
mess.
like that, and Allied with fucking
Pitt and Marion Cotillard.
I love Marion Cotillard because she is a psycho.
You would, yeah.
She's great.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Annette, bro. Annette.
Yeah, that's cool. I never finished Annette. I think I watched the first half. I'm fascinated by the movie, but I never finished it. Yeah, she's cool.
Anyway.
The
fuck's
Thundercats.
happening?
The
I mean,
Panthro.
these motherfucking Thundercats, all of these motherfuckers bleed like a fucking stuck pig. It's great. It's crazy.
I looked it up, and I figured out that, first of all, Rattan means rat, I guess.
He's a rat man.
But he's dressed kind of like Mighty Mouse.
Yeah.
I think is what he's supposed to be. Yeah, this is a mess. This match will defy all discussion. Just go watch it. It's like 20 minutes long. You won't know who's who. It doesn't matter. I watched this match like 15 years ago, and I didn't know who was who then, and I wouldn't even consider trying to discuss it on a podcast. This was a whole mistake. The idea here is that we're doing matches where, it's like people dressed in costumes. It's like a Halloween shit. And this was an easy pick, except for that I watched it and I was like, oh no, I don't know who any of these people are.
There's like a lot of twisting splashes from the top that miss and stuff like that.
There's
but
like
I'm like,
4.
the match is cool.
There's 4 Scorpio twisting splashes.
Who does that? Someone gets hit with a fucking slingshot on the floor. And they do a face bump on the concrete.
So
disgusting.
That's
repulsive.
the slingshot.
What a funny dickhead thing to do to someone. That's just a terrible thing to do to your opponent. But hey,
I have it here somewhere.
You could have said no.
Yeah, it's there's a slingshot in where the fuck is it? I've never seen anybody really do that where, the slingshot move, you like sling them and they fly into, the turnbuckle or the post, or Shawn Michaels will blade in midair, of course, famously.
or you'll do it into an opponent or into like your tag partner's
and
moves.
then turn it into a tornado DDT or whatever if you're Will Ospreay.
But like this fucker just hit it on the damn floor.
It just bumps face first on the floor.
Gross.
It's very
really
funny.
That's just a straight up distasteful thing to do. It was cool as hell.
Yeah, that's.
I'm a big fan, frankly.
That's one of the high spots of the first few minutes of this. Who knows who it was. I'm gonna Control F slingshot. We're gonna find out. Here we go. Control F. It doesn't work. Oh, I was hitting the wrong button. Slingshot. Rattan gives Panthro a slingshot. Not into anything, just onto the floor.
On the floor. It just makes you
That's what it says.
concrete, bro. That's so cool.
Leono is kicking everybody in the balls.
It's fucking great. It's a possible. I mean, this is a match that like we spent like 45 minutes, I think, on Rikidozan Blassie.
Oh,
and it's like that, and we were like constantly like, I don't know exactly how we describe this match, but it's like that's because there's like it's very minimal in like the what they're doing. They're doing a lot of things though. This is like high end offense. Time for sure, and a lot of blood and a lot of nastiness, and a lot of fucking dickhead bullshit, and you're just like, it's a blur, but it's a fucking exhilarating blur to watch. Like, I mean, like this fucking like
children's mascots.
Yeah, like this is like Shakes the Clown, like gone wrong kind of thing. I mean, that's already wrong enough, but it's like, well, have you seen Shakes the Clown?
Oh, I'm sorry, I was muted. Is that Bobcat Goldthwait?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, I was muted.
Yeah, like all of the clowns meeting up or whatever.
I vaped too much. I was coughing horribly, and then I was like, "That's Bobcat Goldthwait." I'm sorry.
Yeah, all of the clowns meeting up, and it's like, this is like for all the clowns.
Yeah.
Like, got no fucking drunken brawl.
Yeah,
and someone was gonna lose their scalp.
Yeah, it's Thundercats, Thundercat Goldthwait. Yeah. Yeah, Pinocchio, Raton. I don't know. There's I don't even know what to say about this. You know how the lucha rings, especially of this era, you know, like wrestling rings often will have like the ring skirt that flaps over, like, you know, over the edge. But these old lucha rings, it seems like they just have signboards stuck to the side, and there's zero give. I feel like it's
like the boards on the railings at Ring of Honor shows.
Yeah, or like, you know, like just a fucking hockey rink. Like, there. I think it's maybe it's the Satanico Sangre Chicana, or it's the Dandy Satanico match where one of them just slams the other one's head into the side of the ring over and over.
Ooh.
And it's like this. It's like where it's just like where there would be a ring skirt hanging off the apron in like an American wrestling match. This is just a thick piece of wood stuck up against the side of the ring. And so there's a bunch of those spots where people just get their heads slammed into the side of the ring. Like into the supporting bars under the ring with, you know, something in front of them that has zero give. It's just very cool. Tigro?
Yeah, Tigro.
All right, Pinocchio rips Tigro's mask. Tigro's bleeding all over the place. Muñeco and Raton throw him into the crowd. When Tigro gets thrown into the chairs, he like flips fully, like perfect somersault into the crowd. It's awesome. And then Panthro, I believe, is the one. Panthro's covered in blood already, and then he rips open Raton's mouse mask. And then Tigro's trying to get out of the crowd. His ankle's like trapped in the wreckage of the chairs.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like stuck. And then Leono kicks Muñeco in the balls. Tigro bites Pinocchio. Raton goes for a small package for some reason. I think it's Tigro hits a flying butt senton on Pinocchio. Then Leono kicks Pinocchio in the balls again. Raton hits a tope in reversa, which is one of the great lucha moves where you jump backwards off the top rope, or you springboard off the middle or whatever, and you do like a flying headbutt to a standing opponent backwards without looking at them. I think he hits that, and they win the second fall off that. The Trio Fantasia does. But then he goes for it again in the third fall and hits his partner. Something like that. Who fucking knows?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome. So that's the other thing. This match is like total chaos, but there are constant callbacks to earlier spots. Like, it's a very well-structured match in its own weird, fucked-up way. It shouldn't make as much sense as it does. And then there's this fucking... I think Panthro hits the tope suicida. Who hits the huge tope? Fuck.
I'm not sure.
Doesn't matter. I guess it doesn't matter at all. Yeah, okay. Raton goes to the floor. Tigro hits the tope suicida. Okay. Tigro hits the tope suicida. It's perfect. It's like brutal, violent. He almost like lands on his own head. Then he sits on the concrete and leans against a woman who's sitting down, and he's just bleeding all over her pants.
Yeah.
And then Pinocchio hits a plancha off the top to the floor, taking out Leono, I believe. But you can't actually see where he lands. It's just into the pixelated darkness. And as he's jumping through the air, so you can hear someone in the crowd screaming, which is like very stark when very little audio stands out above any other audio. You can hear a person scream when he does this plancha. It's awesome. I don't know. Raton hits an electric chair drop off the second rope, like an avalanche. And also, there's two referees. There's a fat ref and a tall ref, which are two of the genres of referee, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And then I believe, so a bunch of people miss splashes towards the end, and it ends with Muñeco grabbing a llave on one of the Thundercats. Who knows? The crowd explodes. We haven't been able to follow it. We don't know what's happening the whole time, but the crowd is right there with them because
They do not have to deal with 240p. They are seeing for their eyes.
Can you imagine seeing this not in 240p though? Because I think this is ideal.
Yeah, it feels right that it's like gnarly and weird and disorienting.
It's fucked
like
up.
If you're there live, that's one thing. But if you like if you had like a better version of this, I'm like, okay.
I looked at the.
I don't know if that's like. I mean, that's objectively better, but it's not subjectively better.
There were some other uploads that I saw, like on Facebook, specifically. People had uploaded this to Facebook, and one of them I was like certain was like maybe this is a little bit better, and then I was like watching parts of it side by side, and I think they just like lightened the footage. I think they like manually brightened it or something. Like there is no the fact that this exists at all is insane.
Yeah.
So Muñeco grabs the llave on, I believe, Leono and gets the win, and the crowd explodes. And then Pinocchio and Muñeco tried to lift Super Rattan up onto their shoulders, like Bret Hart at Mania 10.
Yeah.
But Super Rattan is so heavy that they can only get him up to about like here, like about like waist high, which I thought was very funny. And then they just sort of drop him, and then Panthro's mask is soaked in red. Tigre's is fucking soaked. I think Leono is the only cat to not look like he's been, shot in the fucking face.
Yeah.
Like peck and paw violence happening here.
Yeah.
And then they are forced to untie their grody ass fucking masks that, they probably got at a flea market. And they honorably hand over their masks to the trio of Fantasia. And we see everybody's face pretty clear here. Like, this was nice. The post-match of any apuestas is, like, supposed to be emotional, right?
Yeah.
I mean, hair versus hair is different, because that's, like, straight-up blood feud between two assholes. But anytime someone loses a mask, it carries a lot of weight, right?
Yeah.
They're crying, their family's in the ring.
Yeah, even if it's, like, you've been, like, beefing for, like, 20... Well, it's like 10 years at that point, like Ultimo and Atlantis.
Yeah, or Wagner and Blue Demon. Like, it's at the end, it's just like, here's the mask. I'm gonna go be with my family. Let's be friends or whatever.
Yeah, there's there's the acknowledgement of the momentous nature of what's happening here, as opposed to like, fuck you, you're bald now, bitch.
Yeah. Hair matches are
which
different.
is also cool, which is very cool.
Yeah,
but that's a different thing.
Yeah, and this isn't maybe so grandiose as some of those Mascara contra Mascara matches that we've seen, but it is nice. And you see, Leono has like an incredible mustache, and I think Tigro kind of looks like Mark Ruffalo. and Zodiac specifically, and in the end they all shake each other's hands and they hug and they hold each other's hands up high to finish this, and in the end they were all friends.
Yeah,
they all became friends.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, so I think we did a fine job on that.
I think we did.
That is the hardest match to ever talk about, and we should never try to do anything like that again.
No. So, my friend, let's go to Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Speaking of Tony Hinchcliffe.
Yeah, Zona Caliente.
Yeah, I thought about there's a bunch of motherfuckers here who could kill Tony by beating him to death with rocks.
Oh, Ricky and the Flash.
We have Ricky and the Flash. That's absolutely true. Rest in peace, Jonathan Demme.
Yeah.
Beloved would be a fucking wild Halloween watch, but I can't find the fucking movie anywhere.
I might have that on my Plex. I might be able to hook you up.
I've
never seen it.
There are people who represent.
I always called it Beloved.
Who at that.
I always thought the title was Beloved.
I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce it, honestly. I've never read the Toni Morrison book.
No, I've never read any Toni Morrison book.
I can't read. As we know, I read like 4 pages and then I get sleepy.
I only read the Bible.
But so we have Ricky Banderas, a.k.a. El Messias, Mil Martes, Gilbert El Boricua
Gilbert Boricua.
versus Slash Venom, a.k.a. Flash Flanagan.
A.k.a. Slash Venom.
Venom.
Venom. A.k.a. Cobain.
Cobain, yes.
Yes.
Member of the WWF Light Heavyweight division in
sure.
1997, 1998.
Now, who did he lose to? Did he lose to Brian Christopher in the first round?
Maybe?
God. We covered the final in the show.
That's, I mean, all of those, like, every light heavyweight match is good. It's just, like, no, you just have to watch, like, Shotgun Saturday Night to watch, like, one of the best matches you've ever seen with,
Yeah, of course.
Brian Christopher and Pantera.
And it was like a 3-month period, but then it's over. Now, Scott Putski, didn't he get injured and never wrestle again?
He might have.
Isn't that what happened?
I mean, I don't know why the fuck he was in the light heavyweight division anyway, though. But I'm not holding that against him in terms of why, like, his career should have ended. But
224 3/4 pounds of pure steroids.
That son of a bitch was not a light heavyweight.
Yeah.
He was not making 215.
Slash Venom. This is a famous match for one specific spot.
Okay, no, Scott Putski's okay.
Is he?
After that, like, yeah, he was fine. All right, no, we feel nothing for him.
I thought he retired immediately after that.
He ends up in fucking WCW the next year, and then I don't know, kind of fucks around for a while. I don't know. He did fine.
Cool.
There's a match of him wrestling Tim Storm in 2003 on Cage Match. That's compelling.
God.
Anyway,
I feel like
Wilcott, I think that's Big Daddy Yum Yum.
the NWA circuit. Okay.
Yeah.
He's wrestling Tyrus next week. We got Slash Venom versus Ricky Banderas. This is from October 18th, 2003. We start with a graphic that has animated lightning and says Zona Caliente. Mm-hmm. And then we begin in media res in this basketball gym with Ricky punching Slash in the face. And Slash Venom appears to already be bleeding.
He does. I mean, I don't know if that was I presume it was an interrupted entrance. Doesn't really matter, no.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah, I love anybody. You get a blade in the first 5 seconds of a match. It's great. That's the Puerto Rico way. That's my man John Hawking does that shit, right?
Oh, yeah.
Blade backstage. Fuck it. Ricky, it's the Vince McMahon style, right?
Yeah.
Ricky has the eyeshadow, and he looks like a fucking demon, and he has had such a long career. Ricky Banderas, El Macias, Mil Muertes. It's so interesting that he became arguably his most famous well after what we all assumed would have been his biggest run, because when he slows down, when like AAA sort of falters in its mid 2010s period, where it gets less interesting again before it gets interesting again in the late 2010s. You could assume that Macias' best years were behind him, and maybe they were, but like the fact that he got to have this big run because of this cool character on an American wrestling television product. Yeah.
And it's like, I don't even know that what like he was doing like 2013 or whatever was bad. Like, he had a title match, he had a singles title match with AJ Styles in, like, for the fucking TNA belt. Like, you know what? I'm just sure that match was good. I'm sure that was a good match, man.
That was in TNA?
That was in AAA. I've never fucking seen anybody talk about it, though.
Interesting.
I have no idea if it was good. Yeah. I feel like I should know.
I mean, there's gaps in the footage there, too, where
this is
Lucha
true.
Blog or whoever just didn't care, or the TV, like the satellite feeds were hard to get or whatever.
Yeah, and then like AAA was taken like as like bitch people up out who tried to upload that stuff, and it's like like there's a link on Cage Match to YouTube for it, and it's like nope, the link doesn't exist, and it's like. Well, you fucking piece of shit, I want to see AJ Styles versus El Macias. That sounds fucking great.
I almost can't picture that match. I don't really know what that would look like.
There's also a 6-man tag of Angelico Australian Suicide and Jack Evans, which is not a very good team. No offense to Jack. versus Eterno, Hoovy, and Steve Payne, which is a fucking great team. So
what's
that.
Australian Suicide up to these days? Is he still wrestling?
I feel like I just saw him pop back up.
Yeah,
because he was gonna have the gimmick in Lucha Underground if it continued, where he was gonna be Hexagon Dark.
Okay,
that was fucking stupid.
I don't remember that, but
he's
sure.
wrestling again, but it felt like he didn't do anything for a while.
I always thought he was interesting, like an interesting.
I kind of liked him. Yeah,
he's fun.
He's a weird little guy.
Yeah,
I feel like Angelico was actually more positively received by people we know now than ever, but I haven't actually watched that.
He worked hard for it. Yeah, he's done some interesting stuff in the last couple of years. And
I'm not. I don't want to hate.
Yeah.
I just think that Rudo team is cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
Steve Payne.
I don't know if they're the Rudos or just the natives, but
I would assume Steve Payne is on the Rudo team.
Yeah, Steve Payne and Eterna. Feels like a Rudo team. That's a fucking cool Rudo team.
Yeah. Ricky Banderas, El Macias. Have we done? So we did the La Parka LA Park match.
We did one of them.
We did one of the Macias Park
matches?
matches?
We did the one from 2011 from Triple Mania. The hair versus
but we didn't,
mask.
We didn't
do the one from Garrett the Titan.
Garrett the Titanis.
Yeah, that match is probably better.
That's a really, yeah.
And that's got that crazy spot where Park covers puts his dead brother's mask on fucking Macias. That's one of the craziest spots I've ever seen.
Right.
Like, in terms of just what's happening right now, man. We should talk about that match. We've never talked about him and Wagner in fucking AAA, and there's some good shit there. There's a lot.
There's Lucha Underground stuff we got to return to. I feel like we'll get back to Ricky Banderas on the next Halloween show, I imagine, because the fact that we don't have an LA Park match on this is, really it's just because we just did one of his big matches 2 episodes ago. But but and then Slash Venom, who we've never talked about, and is one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. Flash Flanagan, who just has never gotten his due and never got a spot, never got to show what he had.
Just like a guy who had clearly a talent, but is sort of is very much one of those Cornette OVW guys. I think he's the best of them in terms of the Bashams and Dinsmore and all that. But he has that similar sort of nothing to be excited about body.
Sure,
he's got
tall.
Good athleticism. Yeah, but he's a little gangly. He's a little stretched. But it's he's fucking good, and he'll bleed, and he'll take bumps like a psychopath.
He's purely a Puerto Rico, Memphis kind of wrestler. It makes sense that's where he'd do his shit.
Yeah, he showed up. He'd show up in IWA every so often.
Sure,
in IWA Mid South.
Yeah.
When
we just say IWA shorthanded,
we mean Ian's.
It means Ian's. Yeah. Yeah. This is
friend of the show. Big Beef has wrestled him.
That's funny.
I know that.
That's funny. He's doing well.
He's doing good.
Good for him. So let's see here. So they brawl around. Flash gets the upper hand with some chops. Ricky grabs him by the throat, and Ricky just looks insane. Ricky Banderas.
Oh yeah.
Savio is out here.
Savio's fucking sweating his ass off, man. It's great.
He looks great. This is his most your uncle is back home from prison. Help him stay out of trouble, would you, mijo?
Yeah, the boss run where he's just hitting people with fucking the baseball bat like a complete piece of shit. He's a great villain. If 40 heel, but he's also just so funny with that gigantic head, sweating buckets for that shirt.
Yeah, he looks awesome. Slash Venom though, Flash Flanagan is fucking awesome here. He hits this springboard middle rope 180 leg drop, which is
some RVD shit. Very cool.
It's one of the coolest moves that you ever saw happen in the WMC5 studio. This guy would do this shit in Memphis, and he was just awesome. He was an innovative Southern worker, PG-13,
Yeah,
this gym looks very similar.
But it's being innovative. It's again, when RVD comes in, it's like Steve Bradley. Like,
Yeah, sure.
you're not RVD, even though it's like, how do we know that you couldn't be?
Yeah.
Well, there's just not enough room for you.
Yeah, Mikey Whiplash was never going to make it, you know? This gym looks very similar to the one that IWA runs to this day. This is not the same building, right?
It's not, and they do tour a bit, but this is the venue I think of for, like...
Yeah.
Like, where we have, like, a predominant amount of that footage for, that, like, really hot run they had.
Yeah.
Between, like, 2000 and 2004.
Yeah, when you think of the clips of Thunder and Lightning and Ray Gonzalez or whatever, or like just like you know like Edge and Gangrel wrestling there or whatever, you know. Tajiri, yeah.
Fucking
Eddie Guerrero,
Lobo Andy Anderson,
Eddie Guerrero's brief run.
Yeah. And WWC is also real good at that run. That's like an extremely hot run for Puerto Rican wrestling, which is cool because that stuff's great.
Well, IWA Japan at this point, or IWA Puerto Rico at this point, is sort of acting as a pseudo WWF developmental territory too.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It has working relationships with them. They're like sending people down and like sending stars down too. They have like there's a wild like junior heavyweight tournament in '99 that has like Taka and Funaki. Tajiri's there, Jeff Hardy's there, Alexander Otsuka's there, like what? Just
all the stars are here.
Very inexplicable stuff, and you're like, that kicks ass.
Yeah, I like him, Otsuka.
Yep, it's great.
I mean, obviously it's a cold take, but just imagining him wrestling, like mixing it up with American stars of the time.
Oh yeah,
we got him in Backlund rolling around, didn't we? Isn't that? Or he teamed with Backlund. Did he team with that match?
He might have done both.
Is it? It's.
I'll look that up real
Ishikawa
quick.
and Carl Rico versus Otsuka and Backlund. Maybe that match. It's been forever.
I want to
since
look
I saw
up who he wrestled on the. Anyway, you do some commentary.
Yeah.
So it's Otsuka and Hizukatsu Oya versus Backlund and Ishikawa.
Okay. Well, there's
That's
another one where it's Backlund and Ishikawa on opposite teams, but I don't know. It's been forever since I watched that stuff.
It's late.
Yeah. I did recently watch Backlund's like last ever match or second to last match. It's in Tenryu Project or Real Japan or something.
Yeah. And
he does some of his bullshit. It's cool.
Oh, yeah.
He's like 70 years old.
For the record, on that show with the junior heavyweight, IWA Puerto Rico junior heavyweight title, Otsuka wrestled Aguila. So I'm sure that match was fucking cool.
Yeah, Aguila's cool.
Hot take.
S.A. Rios, cool guy.
Yeah.
All right, so we all right, fuck. Slash gets thrown in the corner, Venom. Ricky goes for a shoulder spear, Slash moves, and Ricky does basically the old psychosis bump, which is like where you tope suicida the post with your shoulder and bump clean to the floor. Slash has a chair, Savio's there, Slash sets up Ricky. Slash sets up Ricky on a table on the floor outside the ring and sets up a chair inside the ring, sort of does a Sabu style springboard triple jump, springboard elbow drop to the floor through the table.
Fucking great elbow drop.
It's awesome. It's
so good.
So awesome. It looks like Russ Meyer, you know?
Yeah.
Nasty Russ. It's kind of
that. The Nasty Russ Cannonball elbow.
Yeah.
That's so cool. That's such a good elbow.
Yeah, he does that kind of shit. He's just such a good wrestler, Flash Flanagan is. He picks Ricky up and throws him into the wreckage of that table that he just put him through, the perfectly bisected table. He picks up a big hunk of wood. Big hunk of wood. He got a big hunk of wood here, and it's like a perfect triangle. It's like it's positively isoscelesian piece of fucking wood that he swings and breaks over his back, and then back in Ricky gets a big hope spot, countering a whip, manages a big leaping face buster, back body drop, 2 clotheslines, just high end babyface work. Crowd loves it. Whips him into the corner. Slash gets the boot up, and then Ricky comes back with an awesome spear. Just Ricky Banderas, just a great fucking baby face in this era.
Mm-hmm.
And especially
that spear's great.
Yeah, the spear's awesome. Slash gets a crooked sort of cabrata lion salt. Ricky gets the knees up.
That's a weird, like, sort of corkscrew. Yeah, that moonsault's a little weird.
I wouldn't call it a corkscrew. It's just a crooked moonsault.
Yeah, it looks cool, though. I'm not, like, trying to shit on it. It was cool.
No, it was awesome. And then Ricky gets the knees up for that.
Yeah.
Savio slides the chair in for Slash, but then he lifts it up, and Ricky does a big leaping one-footed drop kick into the chair, into his head. Looks fucking brutal. And then they trade chair shots and go to the floor. And on the floor, Slash hits a big DDT. This is where I cracked open a beer and a bag of Miss Vicky's kettle chips that my wife brought home from some work function. I wrote that down in my notes. I don't know why, but I guess I was just feeling it, right? I was just feeling it.
They're pretty good chips.
Yeah. Kettle chips.
I like kettle chips.
My son didn't care for them. I gave him one. He was like...
That's fair. I didn't.
Yeah,
like
they're not for
chips
kids.
As much as I was a kid. No,
kettle chips ain't for kids.
Like they're like refined chips.
Yeah, they're for grown-ups.
The grown-up snacks.
Yeah, absolutely.
To convince you that you're an adult when you're just shoving potato in your maw.
Yeah. Miss Vicky's for the gentleman, for sure. Mm-hmm. And then Slash sets up Slash Venom sets up a table outside the ring. Not outside the ring, very far away from the ring. In a seemingly random spot. What could the fucking plan possibly be here? Carries Ricky Banderas, El Macias, around some like handicap accessible ramps up into the crowd. All the way up into the crowd. A balcony that's probably a solid, 20 feet? Is that fair?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
An old lady is forced to vacate her seat there, but not without protest. She's mad. And there's this waist-high rail. And so he throws Ricky over. Ricky's hanging on. He pulls Flash over with him, and they're both hanging off of this rail over the table, hanging off the balcony. And we get a couple of very brief shots from a black and white camcorder.
Yes, very weird, cool, but I don't necessarily know like what to say about it aside from an artistic standpoint. But I liked it.
Very of the time, very early 2000s. Like we're candid now. I almost got the sense that it was like a guy and just a fan who had a camera, and
it's like the resolution on it's weird. It's almost like semi-thermal. It's a very inky black and white. It's cool.
Yeah, it felt
not clear though. It doesn't look like a John Frankenheimer movie. It just looks cool.
It felt like Rob Feinstein was shooting this.
Yeah,
and I mean that in a good way, not the other way.
He provided us a lot of great content. Wrestling matches.
The man could hold a fucking camcorder, and I mean that in a good way.
I'll be happy when he makes the WWE Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But take Trump out, put Rob in.
Yeah. It's a great idea. That's a fantastic idea. Hey, he should run for president while he's at it. He could run for local office in Pennsylvania.
Interview voice giving stump speeches. So, I want to be president.
You used to work with Tommy Rich back in the day. Can you tell me a few stories about Tommy Rich? He's saying to Donald Trump.
Yeah. He's just like...
the Donald Trump RF video shoot interview. That was a big seller back in the day.
Donald Trump had so much to say about fucking Paul Roma.
Yeah.
I guess they'd have run into each other up there in the Northeast, but you didn't realize it would have been so negative.
I said, you can't let him be in the Horseman. It'll never get over.
Paul Orndorff was right there, folks. The least that you could have done was put them together and then the Horsemen, so then when Pretty Wonderful turns, it's a great story. And why could they do that to Ric Flair?
Would have made a lot of money, folks. It would have made a lot of money.
They brought him in with no introduction. He joins the He's never been in WCW. Nobody cares about him in WCW. Who the fuck is Paul Roma? I was saying this to Ole Anderson, and Ole Anderson didn't listen to me. He was too busy, talking about how he hates all the Jews. And I said, Ole,
you gotta
that's
like
a bit
the Jews.
much.
You gotta be quiet about the Jews. They're a big part of the voting contingency. Now, I said, so what if his arm is skinny and terrible? Just hide it on the screen. You know, they made Trump look skinny, right? They make him like they dress him well. They could have done that with Orndorff's arm. They could have pulled that off.
Yeah.
Doug Dillinger, great guy. Head of security. Wish I had him there in Pennsylvania. Let's see here. So they're up in the fucking balcony, and he throws him. He just Ricky Banderas throws Slash Venom over the fucking edge of the thing,
and he bounces like a fucking basketball.
He kind of throws him. Flash Flanagan like leaps over this in a way that it's very clearly like there's no Vic Grimes New Jack to this. There's no uncooperative, like nothing. There's no funny business here.
No.
Slash Venom is going for it. He's bumping for the industry, you know, and he's ready to send the fucking fans home happy and have the biggest fucking match of his career with the biggest finish imaginable. And he jumped, like, the way he gets thrown over, it's like a random lower card guy getting eliminated from the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
It was like Hurricane Helms or I don't know, Maven or whatever. Like, it was like the way one of those guys would get tossed over the top rope to the floor. Except this is not the Royal Rumble.
One half of Well Done in 95.
Yeah.
It wasn't like Taka taking that bump on his face.
Well, in 2000,
that's a great bump.
Yeah, I mean, if Flash Flanagan had done that here, he'd be dead. He would be dead
because he would have broken all of the things that are above his collarbone at minimum.
I'm pretty sure Taka did break his nose or something on that spot. I'm pretty sure. But yeah,
you have to give him that fucking Triple H match after that.
Yeah, right.
He did the deal for you.
He did more to earn it than fucking Taz did. That's for sure. He goes for it. Slash Venom goes for this shit, and he is ready to have the biggest spot of his life. Leaps over the fucking balcony and doesn't completely miss the table. I mean, his hip kind of clips it. The table does not break.
The table certainly doesn't break.
I imagine the table would have broken.
Like a sort of part of the beauty of this is that there is like a you see that sort of, I don't know if I would call it part of the rafters for the stands, but like there's like that sort of weird, because it's like there's the basketball court and then there's that green part, and that creates like a weird depth field that makes it look like he like really hit even deeper into the ground or something. I can't explain it exactly.
No, but the impact is fully felt. Like
it's a great visual that I don't like. Is classic like happy accident of a great moment. You know, certain things in wrestling happen the way they do, and nobody planned for it. But that split second just of timing on the part of the performers and the camera operator makes it fucking perfect, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, and speaking of the camera, like it follows him down. Whoever's holding the camera on the floor, like on the opposite side, follows him down. Like they perfectly, you see, Flash Flanagan is never out of the frame. You follow his body as it travels the full 20 feet to the floor. His hip kind of clips it, and he just goes smack into the fucking basketball gym floor as hard as you could possibly imagine. His head snaps, and I mean, it's a miracle that he didn't, like, seriously get fucked up.
No, yeah, like, that's one of the craziest bumps of all time. It just straightforwardly is. The whole thing of it is, the whole match is incredible, though.
Yeah. The whole match is really good. That's the thing.
I'm looking real quick. I think you're right that he clips it slightly, but I could...
Oh, he definitely he taps it very, very gently with his hip.
Okay, it's his leg.
His hip. Yeah.
Yeah, like, I think both legs actually make contact with it.
I mean, maybe.
So that might have been crucial in breaking his fall, yeah.
But it's also, like, why his body, like, snaps down against the ground so hard.
Yeah.
Is that it catches a little bit on the edge of the table.
You know, so who could say how much that helped? You know what it helped? looking fucking cool.
I mean, it's crazy.
Looks fucking cool as shit.
It's fucking crazy. My son was also in the room he had protested the chips, as I mentioned earlier. But I was like, hey, come over here and look at this. I couldn't help it. He was in the room, and he was just there a second before because he had asked for for me to give him some more of the ranch flavored Cheez-Its. The Hidden Valley Ranch branded flavored Cheez-Its, which I got. I think they were $2 a box on clearance at Walmart on the weird little clearance rack. And I wouldn't normally buy those, but I got them, and he loves them. And then he's eating those, and I was like, come around here, come look at this. And he went, oh my God, he just throwed him off the edge? Did he died? Was my son's, and I was like, no, he didn't die, he was fine.
He didn't die. He did. Yes, you did just watch a human being bounce like a basketball, but he's all right.
He said he just throwed him off the edge. Did he died? That's what he said. That's the perspective of a burgeoning wrestling fan. And then the referees and Savio check on Flash Flanagan and try to stop Ricky from coming back for him. Ricky, bursts through the referees, and then what does he do? He goes and pins Venom on the floor.
It's so fucking funny.
And that's the end of the match.
Match is still going on. Nobody ruled it, even though this man is dead. It's like, the ref easily could have ruled it, but he didn't. You gotta... look what happened to Johnny Gargano. He ended up having to wonder why he was so violent, and they lost the match. He lost the match, folks. He looked at his hands, and then he lost the match. Terrible refereeing.
Tommaso Ciampa.
Tommaso Ciampa was out. He was out cold.
And this Giulia, have you seen her? Giulia. Wouldn't it be fucked up if this wasn't the finish?
It'd be so fucking great. There's a goddamn... Ospreay might have that not be the finish. And you know what? That might actually be kind of sick if he did it, because you get to watch him bounce like a basketball.
I don't think Ospreay's ever...
taken that... He doesn't take bumps like that.
No, he doesn't. That's like the balcony... I mean, he'll do a moonsault off of one. Yeah. In a tribute to Teddy Hart or whatever.
Ibushi might have done that.
Oh, Ibushi would do it.
Ibushi is physically incapable of doing anything.
Well, Ibushi and Omega did superplexes off the top to the floor. Those guys are special, and that's why the best Ospreay stuff is when he wrestles Omega, because matches his freak. Yeah. I stand by Kenny Omega as a great wrestler just because he's a maniac in a very specific way, and Ospreay is just like a normal guy who loves wrestling, He loves work rate. Whereas Kenny Omega has a cocaine issue. That's why he's good.
I still believe in my heart that he and Phil could have done business.
Oh, God, Kenny Omega and CM Punk?
I think they could have done business.
It would have been incredible. Yeah, it sucks that it never happened.
We just blame the Bucks.
You mean after that too? Yeah.
After that, or in general, because
it's all the Bucks' fault. Of course it is.
Yeah. I had a lot of hate for them, man, and I got to work this out in therapy or something, but I just choose not to because it's weird to
I'm
bring
hurt,
it up.
And I'm tired, and I'm old, and I work for fucking children. He was right.
Yes.
He was right to say it.
Main event time.
Well, I just want one thing to shout out before we get there. In the post-match, Savio beats up Ricky Banderas with the baseball bat. Ricky blades in the post-match. Bleeds like a fucking maniac. And then David Flair comes out and puts him in a figure four leg.
Hell yeah. I thought that was fucking David Flair. I convinced myself that was Glamour Boy Shane or something. I'm like, that can't be David Flair.
No, it was David Flair. It was David Flair. And then
that's so cool.
Puerto Rico legend Ray Gonzalez comes out and makes the save with a baseball bat of his own.
Hell yeah.
He lights up David Flair with the bat, too.
Hell yeah.
And then Ricky's left bloody as hell. Flash Flanagan is still on the floor, right where he landed. And if I didn't know better, and if I didn't do the research and try to find... I tried really hard to find any interview where Flash Flanagan talked about this bump.
Yeah.
I skipped through but I listened to almost the entire episode of Art of Wrestling. Speaking of Phil, the Art of Wrestling podcast with Colt Cabana with Flash Flanagan. I listened to like huge chunks of it to try to find, and it sounded like a good interview. And then when we started this podcast here tonight, just 3 solid hours ago, I was listening to another podcast with Flash Flanagan on it to try to find any fucking mention of this bump. And I guess he just doesn't talk about it, or nobody's ever asked him. I don't know.
I'd ask him.
That'd be the one and only question I'd ask. What was that? What were you doing? Why did you do that?
There's a lot of things that he's done that are
feel?
interesting. I just need him to talk about that for 20 minutes, though. I don't think I'm going to get more time than that.
Yeah, that would be the only subject of the podcast. The bump. Like the one bump. That's all I want to talk about, Flash. Slash. Yeah, if I didn't know any better, if I hadn't done all that research afterwards, I'd say he's still laying on that fucking basketball gym floor to this very day. He's lucky he didn't go all the way through it like a fucking Looney Tunes cartoon. You know? Yeah. Fucking Wile E. Coyote shit. Insane. All right, main event time. You do it.
Main event time. From
I'm going to drink.
TNA at the Impact Zone, of course. It's Bound for Glory 2005. The date is, I believe...
10/23.
Yes, October 23rd, 2005. We are at the second edition of the Monsters Ball, featuring Abyss, the Man-Beast Rhino, Sabu, and the charismatic Enigma himself, Jeffrey Nero Hardy.
The Man-Beast. The Man-Beast is one of the worst names ever.
Man-Beast is, I've heard the War Machine. That's not a good nickname, really, for him.
Yeah, but at least it's like referencing like a Black Sabbath song. Or
the Man-Beast is weird, though.
Or no, what's War Machine is War Pigs. What's War Machine? Is that a thing? War Machine is a Jimi Hendrix song. Is that right?
I don't know off the top of my head. It's an AC/DC song.
All right, something like that. This is from Bound for Glory, BFG, which is also a Spielberg movie.
Yeah.
And we start with Shane Douglas interviewing James Mitchell.
Which is very funny.
They're still doing the Monsters Ball gimmick where they supposedly... I mean, I guess they still probably do this.
They cut that like real quick.
Well, I know last year... And it didn't make my honorable mentions because I didn't watch it until after we did the Grossies. But have I mentioned how good Monsters Ball between Crazy Steve and Trey Miguel is?
I like that match. I didn't honorable mention it, but I considered that's a good match.
That match is awesome, and they totally talk about it in that. And I was like,
what if they brought it back? I remember there was a Monsters Ball with Jonah Rock and PCO where they at least alluded to it, and PCO was the perfect guy to do it with.
I don't think I ever saw that. Jonah Rock's cool.
That match is pretty good, yeah.
I like Bronson Reed. I like that guy. Shane Douglas interviews Jim Mitchell, and Mitchell. So James Mitchell, the Sinister Minister, of course, mentions that letting Abyss in this match, because he says that Abyss grew up in a room with no lights and no food, no water. That letting him in this match is like bringing a Purple Heart recipient to a paintball game, which I think is great, especially in the thick of the Iraq War, which they were in at this point. Yeah. Also, I'm thinking 24 hours, no food, no water or light. Sabu must have got mad cotton mouth smoking all that weed in there.
They didn't say he couldn't smoke a ton of weed.
Yeah, he had the fucking munchies. No wonder he was homicidal, suicidal, genocidal. I would be. Fucking Christ. Borash announces it as specifically Monsters Ball 2, which
is funny.
I love it. Yeah,
I'm not against that at all, though. Obviously, it's funny how many Monsters Balls there've been now, but it's like ultimately, who cares?
Monsters Balls,
Monster Ball, Monster Balls,
Monsters Balls. This boy's life, this Monsters Balls. I don't know why that's so funny to me, specifically, this boy's life.
Monsters Ball, directed by Mark Forster. I've never seen it.
I've never seen it either.
We did talk about a Mark Forster movie already tonight because we talked about fucking Quantum of Solace.
We talked about Stay.
I'll rep for Stranger Than Fiction as being a great movie. I love that movie, honestly.
Is it Stay? Is that what it's called?
That's the one with fucking Ewan McGregor and Gosling and shit.
Yeah.
That movie's all right.
I don't remember. I saw it in the theater with my mom, I think. It's like in that time period when you're a weird 16-year-old. And your best friend is your mom. You know, you've been there.
No,
you've been
there.
All right, we got an ECW chant for fucking Rhino. He's got the words "Big Effing Deal" written on the side of his singlet.
God damn it! Now I'm thinking about Rhino versus Zandig. That's not as fun as
I know. I was just
Ricky
thinking
Banderas versus Zandig. I was thinking about that, but there's a lot of options. Zandig is a lost dream match guy, obviously, because he never wrestled anybody who he wasn't employing, who he also hadn't pissed off within the last 3 years.
Rhino being slightly too good to be in CZW is a shame, though.
Do you want to know a crazy fact?
Sure.
So Rhino was only 49
gay.
years old. Well, that wouldn't be crazy. He's Rhino, the man beast.
It's the man beast. I'm sorry. He's only 49 years old?
Yes. Do you know which wrestler we've talked about on this episode who is older than Rhino?
Scott Putski? No.
Ultra Mantis Black.
Oh, of course.
That's
not surprising to me at all, actually.
I don't know why that seems insane to me, but it also makes perfect sense, I guess.
We remember Ultra Mantis Black and Rhino were the tag team champions. The I Got Kids gimmick. You remember that, of course.
Oh, yeah, of course. Ultra Mantis Black, one of my favorite members of the Nexus.
Yeah, it was in the Nexus. Yeah, of course. Oh, yeah. Words. Shuts out.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. Yeah, shouts out to Heath Slater, the guy who ran the Words Big 80s account.
You know what? Shouts out to David Flair.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that it's being proven how much of a schmuck you are by Dominic Mysterio being the most important wrestler in WWE right now. But I think probably David Flair kind of didn't get a chance to be good anyway. So
I swear, if Hunter. That's how Julie Hart would say it, Hunter.
Well, that's how I fucking say it.
That's how she says it in Wrestling with Shadows, though. Is it Julie Hart? That's Brett's wife, right? Yeah, Julie.
Think so.
Yeah, she says Hunter. You knew.
Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
Hunter, you knew. You fucking knew. Don't kayfabe me, she says. Just so Julie Hart. If Hunter was fucking running this shit back then, I mean, he was, obviously. He basically was booking Raw or whatever. But if Hunter had been, actually in charge of creative in 2001 or whatever, David Flair would have found a fucking place.
I kind of think so. I don't know that David... I've never watched him in Wildside. Him, teaming with Romeo Bliss. I should. I bet it's great. I got time for Romeo Bliss, man. Them against the New South or whatever.
I'm not saying David Flair is good. I'm not even saying Dominic Mysterio is good. I think Dom has found a spot because he was given a spot to find, and David never was afforded such an opportunity, even though his dad was there. But his dad hates him, obviously. You know.
Yeah, he got the Rayo de Velasco thing where it doesn't matter that your dad is a superstar because he hates and resents that you're big, that you could take his spot in some way.
Sure.
But Charlotte didn't have to deal with that because A, Rick was so much older, and B, Rick's I don't care about
you're
her.
a girl.
She's a pussy.
Girls don't fucking... Girls
You're
aren't
not
stars.
going to win my belt.
Yeah.
You can win your own stupid little belt.
Yeah.
I'm going to go get drunk in Tampa.
Fucking at the buffet. Harass some people.
Kamikazes.
God, I can't believe he's still alive, Ric Flair. It's crazy.
It seems impossible that he's still alive.
Yeah. Speaking of guys I can't believe are still alive, Jeff Hardy. The charismatic enigma.
Who just won the tag titles again.
Yeah.
In TNA.
Yeah, did you see his little butt scoot down the ladder? Did you see that clip? Yeah, Ty was there. Ty was at that show live.
Oh, yeah.
He said it was fun. I'm sure it was. The crowd apparently was very sad that Joe Hendry didn't win the world title, and I guess I understand, because why wouldn't you want anybody but Dolph Ziggler to be the fucking champion? Dolph Ziggler. Abyss has a sack of tacks.
Yeah.
Sabu throws his chair from the entryway, hits the scaffold, misses the ring. Very cool. And the charismatic Enigma. Again, Cottonmouth. Can you imagine how much weed he smoked in that room for 24 hours with nothing to drink or eat? Oh, yeah, I have it written down in all caps here. Man Beast.
Man Beast.
Oh, yeah. All right, Sabu, flipping dive off the chair to the floor on Rhino. Jeff hits a splash in the corner on Abyss. Then Poetry in Motion off the chair over the top rope to Abyss on the floor. Crazy to do that as a dive.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff said is he at his peak unwellness here?
No.
Or is he sort of clean?
I
Obviously.
I don't think he's doing great. Because he looks a
Right.
little off, but, you know,
he looked a little off, yeah. No, obviously the era where Sting has to pin him is a bridge much further, but yeah, they are all fighting into the impact zone. Sabu gets busted over the right eye almost immediately. Jeff hits a double axe handle off of a short balcony onto Abyss. The ring skirt says morphoplex.com, which I was going to look it up.
I'm going to look that up for you right now.
Oh, you're going to do it? Okay. Yeah, Morphoplex. It's morphoplex.com. I imagine it's probably a parked domain. GoDaddy is probably what you're going to see.
HugeDomains.com.
Yes.
Funny.
So, yeah, that's the legacy of Bound for Glory 2005. Parked domain. Sabu's a chair. I mean, what Morphoplex had to be like a fucking...
It feels like some GNC shit.
Yeah, I was going to say Ico Pro.
I found an article on WrestleView.com.
Okay. A great website, I'm sure.
Okay. Oh, all right. Morphoplex, which was a former TNA sponsor back in the early Orlando days of 2004-2005 that used Larry Zbyszko, Jackie Gate, and Tracy Brooks.
Having a Morphoplex here.
It was back with a new commercial featuring Zbyszko, who is still with the company.
Take my supplements.
Believe it or not,
Larry. Larry's is tough.
Yeah. Take my supplement. No, that's not good enough. But believe it or not, the commercial features Zbyszko standing in a graveyard talking about how many pro wrestlers and athletes who should have ended up in the Hall of Fame.
I'm standing next to David Sammartino's grave right now. I beat his dad's ass.
That was pretty good at the end. That was really good, actually. The commercial then pushes Morphoplex as a better way to get good results without the risks of steroid.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That sounds great.
That's exactly what I figured it was.
You want me to send you the commercial?
Yeah. Yes.
And for way too long, I've seen
a
lot of fellow athletes and friends, guys who should have wound up in a Hall of Fame, wind up here instead.
Perfect.
Thanks to years of steroid abuse.
Steroids
anymore. Morphoplex Massive. It's going to make you bigger, stronger, healthier. You're going to have size, you're going to have endurance, and you're going to have power. Morphoplex Massive.
Fuck
he looks like he has a Morphoplex branded, like fucking dragon shirt, like something you wear with a pair of Jinkos.
Oh, sure, yeah.
I'm gonna send you it on
Morphoplex graphic tee.
On the X app, everything.
You know, Larry Z wrestled in TNA like a year before this. He's got a match, I think, with Kid Cash.
That sounds right.
And it's pretty good, if I remember right. I mean, I haven't seen it in 20 years, but
well, I mean, certainly both those guys are good.
Yeah, of course, Larry Z. Now that is an impersonation I would love to get down, because that guy was the best. Probably still is. He's still alive, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Larry Z, great guy. All right, let's see here. There's some guys in the front row with a box of tissues. Did you see that?
Yeah, there's that Jeff Hardy fan with the hat and the Jeff Hardy arm warmer type things. That guy's great.
I missed that guy. I missed that guy because I was that guy.
Yeah, no. I mean, that's certainly very relatable.
Shocking twist. That was me. I was here for this match. Sabu hits the triple jump plancha, pausing for a full 3 seconds on the top rope to regain his balance. Classic Sabu, because he's fucking high, people. Abyss hits the shock treatment, which is such a cool move. It's like an Argentine backbreaker.
I'll go for Argentine, yeah.
Argentine backbreaker. Where he's got him in like the rack and he just sits down, and so it bends Jeff Hardy's back backwards over his shoulders. Very cool move. And then Sabu finds himself shortly after this. Sabu finds himself down on his hands and knees. Jeff Hardy leaps off of Sabu's back, hitting the poetry in motion on Abyss. Then Jeff says. He points at Sabu, and he's like, hey, it's your turn. Jeff gets down on his hands and knees. Sabu runs towards him. He, like, nods, and then he stops.
Kicks him right in the fucking ribs.
Kicks him in the ribs.
So funny.
Fuck yeah. Terry Brunk. Terry Funk. Terry Brunk? Is that his name? Brunk?
Brunk, yeah.
Terry Brunk. Terry Funk. It's
he
crazy.
He gets mad if you call him Terry, though. He gets very fucking mad. He wants you to call him Sabu.
That's fine.
And, I would, too.
He's not listening to this. He doesn't know how to download a podcast. What's the K word, he said. He doesn't know. He doesn't know shit.
He's done a lot of drugs. He's a very sad man.
Yeah.
Not because of the drugs, because his, like, life partner died. But also... That sounds
very... I didn't know about that. It's very sad. But Terry Brunk, Terry Funk is very funny that those guys have the same name. Although, I guess it's not that... I mean, there's 2 letters difference. So... they're
both funny last names, though.
Yeah, Brunk and Funk. Brunk and Funk sounds like the name of, like that's like the 2 guys from Car 54, Where Are You?
Brunk and Funk sounds like it could be a weird post Big and Rich country act from like 2005, like pre Honky Tonk Badunkadunk, but post Cowboy Troy.
I did a leg drop holding onto a chair, and like that kind of
like they try to get David Banner for a feature or something like that.
Jelly Roll.
Yeah, that's. I mean, basically that music is completely back at this point.
Oh, weird. It's back.
Yeah.
Have you seen Jelly Rolls?
I have seen Jelly Rolls.
God. Jelly Roll did the opening for SummerSlam. He performed with his full band live in the ring. And they tried to do this thing where they cut like a highlight, like a promo package for the intro of SummerSlam live and intercut it. Like the pre-tape, like the clips of stuff building the feuds. They tried to cut it live with Jelly Roll performing in the ring, and they fucking failed miserably. Like, Kevin Dunn would have never fucked this up this bad. But, they went for it, and it was very funny. And then, you know what? I had this fucking Jelly Roll song in my head for, a week. Where he's like... I see you in my head. I don't know any of the words to it now, but I knew all the words to it for a solid week. I knew every word to it. And they used it over and over. And then I think he did the 5-knuckle shuffle on Grayson Waller. I want to say. Did you watch SummerSlam?
I didn't watch it.
Pretty good show. One of the worst wrestling shows I've ever seen. Yeah, all right. What the fuck? Sabu kicks him in the ribs. Terry Brunk hits the Arabian leg drop. I can't even speak now. He hits an Arabian leg drop. I think is what that's called, where he just holds a chair underneath his butt. Does that to Jeff Hardy, and I was suddenly like, man, did Sabu and Jeff Hardy ever have a singles match? I don't think they did.
I don't know.
This might be the closest we ever got. And that feels like a full-on, proper dream match. Because then Sabu goes to WWE, and Jeff doesn't come back until, well after that, right?
No, because Jeff comes back in 2006.
Okay, so it's around the same
time?
time?
And Sabu doesn't fully come back. I mean, doesn't come back for, a long-term run until 2006. He's just,
Right.
Is he on the first One Night Stand? I don't know if I remember at those points.
I don't know if he is actually on the first One Night Stand. Yeah, you might be right. He's a big part of the actual 2006 one, though, He wrestles John Cena on Raw.
Yeah.
Or whatever that is. I think it's Raw.
Yeah, and then they have a pay-per-view match, and then the one-night stand match with Ray is really cool. That's a cool ass match.
Yeah, well, we've talked about this, but I love One Night Stand 06. And I think it's way better than 05. But
the only thing it really doesn't have is it has a worse Tanaka match. No offense to Balls, but that's probably the most. That might be the best match when all of the one-night stands is awesome Tanaka. I don't know. That's an easy pick, really.
No. It's the best is the one we covered at the end of episode 100. We already talked about this.
They've never had a singles match, for the record.
Yeah, that is crazy. That feels like a slam dunk. Jeff Hardy versus Sabu. That feels like the easiest thing in the world to book. How did no one ever do it?
They've had various matchups.
Sure.
There's a tag with them in '98 against Rob and with Rob and Matt on each side, and then they had
what company?
ASW in Greenville, North Carolina, which was an NWA affiliate. All Star Wrestling. This seems like a weird proto version of Omega almost, but
yeah, sure. Well, not proto. Omega's running by then, right?
It is. That's true, but
that's just another Carolina indie or whatever.
Yeah, like
that's good.
Well, it was founded before Omega, so I guess it's sort of like how they matriculated into being an Omega.
I bet that's good.
Yeah, then they have a match on a WrestleCon in 2015.
I was going to say,
probably isn't that good, but I'd watch it. I like all
what
those
year?
guys. 2015.
I think I've seen that, actually.
Yeah.
But seriously, Jeff, Sabu, early 2000s, just feels so easy to book. All right, so let's see here. Rhino goes nuts with the kendo stick. Don West yells, I'm sure you at home have got the kids out of the room by now. Rhino charges for gore. Abyss goozles him and chokeslams him onto a flattened steel chair. Sound is hellacious. You can hear every bone in fucking Rhino's body just cracking. Perfect impact. And then Hardy's got a little towel, and he chokes Abyss with it. He grabs a ladder from under the ring, and the ladder doesn't really come into play at all, unless I guess that's how he climbs up later, right?
Yeah, that is.
And then, Rhino has a weight belt, and he's whipping Sabu with a weight belt. And nobody in this match was wearing a weight belt. So I don't know where that weight belt came from. I don't know if Hogan showed up for a minute.
Yeah, that's weird.
Brother.
Maybe there was just one under the ring.
Where'd you get my belt, dude? My belt was under the ring, dude. What the hell? Sabu gets up. Sabu sets up a table between the apron and the rail. And then Abyss sets up two tables near the side of the entrance stage. Jeff comes out, levels him with chair shots. Then Rhino is just beaten somehow onto the table at ringside. Sabu does a triple jump. That's what we call that, right?
Yeah.
So that's the thing, triple jump. It always cracked me up. Okay, all right, one jump. All right, he's jumping from the apron, from the ring to the chair. That's one jump. Then from the chair to the ropes. That's two jumps. And then from the ropes onto somebody. And that's triple jump.
Yeah.
It's confusing, though, right?
Sometimes he doesn't really jump. He just kind of moves his body in a way that causes him to fall.
Sometimes there's a double jump and then a step off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, jump is in quotes, for sure. Jump is a concept, though, you know? Mm-hmm. Might as well. Triple jump. He sort of turns 90 degrees, hits a full-on butt drop onto Rhino's sternum through the table. Some really harsh impact. I think Sabu probably knew that just a straight leg drop might not do the trick, so this was just all ass. And then meanwhile, Abyss is on the tables near the stage. Jeff Hardy has climbed up onto the top of the highest part of the stage. And again, this is 20 feet. This is as high or higher than Flash Flanagan.
Yeah.
With a significant gap to clear. He's got to go...
It's an insane... that arc is fucking crazy looking. The stage, you don't really get a great...
perspective shot?
Yeah, on that. But it looks like a massive distance. It
It's
bonks.
significant. It's not nothing. It's very unlike a lot of the swantons he would hit off of like high ladders where, Bubba Dudley or whatever would be like literally just below him.
Yeah.
This is a jump. He has to jump out and over. And he steps up even higher. There's a little lip there. And Tenay's like, he's going even higher. And it's not the prettiest swanton you've ever seen, but I think it might be the highest swanton ever.
Yeah. I mean, that...
He hit one on Randy Orton on Raw off of, like, scaffolding or something one time, I want to say. That was really high up, but I'm pretty sure it was, like, into a crash pad.
Yeah.
Like, this is probably... I think this is the craziest stunt he ever did.
I think there's a good chance it is, yeah. Like his biggest fucking swanton.
It's crazy.
I can't think of a bigger one. So that's what it means. That means that is.
And we're fans. We're big Jeff Hardy fans.
Fuck
of the show,
yeah, I love Jeff.
Yeah. So I feel like we would know. It's incredible, and it's awesome. He's still doing this shit. He hit a fucking swanton off a ladder 2 nights ago. He's awesome. Jeff Hardy's the fucking man. He lands perfectly somehow. I mean, as perfect as you can. Just destroys Abyss in both tables. And Don West yells, "This is freaking insane." And then inside, Sabu hits a triple jump moonsault. He hits a chair leg drop from the top, but doesn't actually manage to get the chair under his legs. He just sort of holds the chair out beside his legs, but he hits Rhino in the face super fucking hard with it. You can tell like the look on Rhino's face where he's like putting his tongue up against his teeth to make sure they're all still intact, kinda.
Yeah.
And then Abyss is back in before Jeff is here, which is hilarious. But makes sense, I guess. Sabu goes to spring off the chair into a corner splash. Abyss catches him, walks him to the ropes, and just heaves him face first out of the ring.
Oh, yeah. Tenay calls it, like, chest first. He gets a little bit of his arm on the table, but that's face first.
That's face first, yeah. The table, so he's parallel with the table, so, like, head to toe the same direction as the length of the table, which, like, if you wanted this bump to go well, you would do it perpendicular. You would do it the other way so that you just crash to the table and your face doesn't hit the fucking table. Also, going face first onto a table like this, your body doesn't bend that way. So the table, he just smacks the fucking table and it breaks just a little bit in the middle and he's just bent backwards.
Yeah, I mean, taking a back bump that way, it doesn't sound great, but I mean, that feels much better. Feels like it'd be better. Yeah.
100 times better. This is insane.
Like, you can kind of cannonball yourself a little bit with that, where it's not going to hurt the same way. You can't like cannonball, because then you're just going to fucking like hit your knees first. That sucks ass. That sounds just as bad.
No, back first, you tuck your chin, you hope for the best. That's how bumping works.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just not. This goes against everything that you're supposed to do when you take any bump. It's ugly as hell. And it's so shitty.
Yeah.
And then Abyss grabs the bag of thumbtacks. Rhino flies in, hits him with this fucking awesome gore through a table that was set up in the corner. And then Jeff's back in the ring, but Rhino gets the advantage on him, hits him with the Rhino driver.
The Rhino driver is really funny.
Which is, I never heard Joey Styles call it that. But it's an avalanche pile driver off the second rope, which Rhino would, do to Francine or whatever all the time. Yeah. And Rhino hits him with this second rope pile driver, pins Jeff Hardy clean for the win.
Which is crazy. It feels crazy, but maybe it's not. Maybe nothing's crazy because it's fucking TNA. Nobody's protected, and you should just accept that.
I guess of all the 4 of these guys, I would have never.
Abyss is taking a million pins. Sabu can take a pin.
Yeah, but Jeff is a star. Yeah, and from Rhino.
Rhino goes on to win the fucking NWA title that night, so it's like, whatever.
That night? Really?
Yeah, which is also
No
really
shit.
stupid. All 4 of these guys are in that match, which is right after... Actually, no, it's not right after this, because right after this is a 30-minute Iron Man.
What do you mean all 4? What match?
It's a gauntlet match. It might be a battle royal. It might be one of those other balls. But all 4 of these guys are in that match, along with AJ and Chris Daniels, who right after this have a 30-minute Iron Man for the X Division title. And I think like R-Truth is also there, who hasn't done shit.
Well, was there a fucking snowstorm or something? Why are these guys all double booked?
It's an insanely bad plan. Like, you know who aren't in that match? Chris Harris and James Storm, who did you say like a 10-minute fucking tag with the Naturals or something? Why aren't they in the match? Why is it everybody who just was in like an excruciating fucking like bloodbath for marathon match?
All right, here's what it's. Yeah, that's of course. Here's what it says. AJ Styles defeats Chris Daniels in a 30-minute Iron Man match. Right?
Yeah.
Defeats him 1 fall to 0. Pointless. Stupid. Why do it?
Worst way to book an Iron Man match.
Why do it at all? Why do a 30-minute draw and then go to overtime? If you're gonna do that. Then do that. Like
the only,
stupid.
You know what the only way I would say you justify that is, you get that pin out in like 2 minutes.
Yeah, do it. Yeah. Maybe they did. Maybe they did. Hey, fair. Maybe they did. Mm-hmm. And then the next match after that, 10-man gauntlet match, and the reasoning for this is because Kevin Nash was supposed to wrestle Jeff Jarrett in the main event, with Tito Ortiz as the special guest referee. Okay, but Kevin Nash was not cleared to wrestle due to a medical emergency. He got too high.
For the record, AJ won at 29 minutes 58 seconds.
That's so fucking goofy.
Yeah.
To do that. Yeah. So Kevin Nash got too high to compete, and then Rhino won the gauntlet match, which also had Kip James, of course, and Lance Hoyt.
Lance Hoyt.
Very funny. And then he beat Jeff Rhino. Oh, Jeff Rhino, a new guy.
Rhino, Abyss beats Samoa Joe. That's a guy who really got a rub off of that. Yeah, it's fucking Abyss.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a mess.
This very funny.
This is a whole ass mess. Samoa Joe also defeated Jushin Liger in the opener of the show. Can't make this shit up, folks. TNA. And then Rhino defeated Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett, of course, accompanied to the ring by Gail Kim. So good for that. Good for him. Rhino.
Bound for Glory. It's just another story. I don't know what Bound for Glory by Woody Guthrie sounds like, so I'm just going to do Death for Glory by The Clash. Bound for Glory. Just another story. Bound for Glory.
Yeah, I like The Clash. The bag of thumbtacks. Chekhov's bag of thumbtacks. Didn't even deliver. And the crowd's fine with it. The crowd chants, "That was awesome." Which, by the way, pretty early for a "this is" or "that was awesome" chant.
Yeah.
I mean, I know, I think we have pinned down at this point, though, that a lot of the worst tendencies of modern wrestling fans began in the Impact Zone. Yeah,
because it's like it would have migrated from... It's you know, I don't know how much you know about epidemiology, but like it starts somewhere small and then it all migrates down to Orlando.
Yeah, like the COVID virus. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like that.
The swine flu.
Yeah, there you have it, folks. Now, is a rhino considered a swine? No, swino.
The man beast.
The man beast swino. Won the world title that night. Swino. They said it couldn't be done. So there you have it, folks. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, everybody.
It's fall. The leaves are crunching beneath your feet as you walk through your neighborhood listening to this podcast. You got both earbuds in. You can't even hear the leaves crunching beneath your feet because you're listening to us. You're laughing so hard at me asking what race Julia is. And our very bad Donald Trump impersonations. I do think the Jason versus New Jason segment on this show is probably one of our best.
It's really good. I think this is a good episode.
Oh, we killed it. We kill it. You know what? We kill it every time, and we especially kill it tonight. Thank you, folks, for listening. Follow us on X, the Everything app. at Touching
Be
Blood.
sure to commit to go through lots of financial transactions on ElonMusk's.com.
Yeah, he's gonna sell the app once if he right. Because he spent all this money to try to get Donald Trump elected. That's the whole end game, right? Was just to flood try to, change the discourse and I guess get vote. Like I've seen people say this, but I think it might be true. I don't know. I don't know why else he would have done it. I don't know why he bought it. It doesn't make any sense. I wouldn't buy Twitter if I had $40 billion. I'd rather suck my own dick. Well, I'd do that either way. I'd rather kick my own ass. That's what I meant to say.
You can buy a dick-sucking robot for that.
God.
I mean, I guess you can't impregnate the dick-sucking robot, and that's what he likes, but...
Yeah.
Dude, that dude had, 3 kids with crime. So fucked up is that?
I think about it all the time, and I still think Oblivion is a great song. It's fucked up, man. It's fucked. The
12 children.
The Blood Diamonds EP, Grimes. It's fucking awesome. Crazy. I don't know. There's plenty of artists that made bad stuff, or that made good things and did bad stuff. Rosemary's Baby, The Tenet. You could just name Polanski movies for the next few minutes. Follow us on Instagram at Wrestling with Gross. TikTok. So, whatever. The link's in the thing. I'm not sure where it goes now. They deleted all our shit off of there. I don't know. Don't follow it. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
Rate, review, subscribe, rate, and comment, and leave a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Send us an email at wrestlingisgross.com. wrestlingisgross@gmail.com. I'm fucking this up. Send us an email. Go to wrestlingisgross.com. It'll lead you to a parked domain. Register that and send me the password. Someone out there can do that.
You know what domain I'd like to have? The ditch.us. Is that available?
Go to the ditch.us, buy that, and have it direct to wrestlingisgross.libsyn.com. And do that. And Death to America.
Death to America.
All right, thanks for listening, folks.
All right, take care.
Woo! Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.